Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another CPL cast. My name is Cole Workgates, and with me today will be Askia. Say hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
Good to have you. I just realized that I forgot to update the overlay in game. It's the teams from last week, so let me fix that real quick. Stall for time
Oh
here.
no!
So this time I'm doing not a group from the most recent week, but it's actually from week 1 because one of the players told me it was a good group and that I should cast it. So if it's bad, blame Mr. Wizard. But, you know, of course, it's going to be good. Okay, there, I did it. I fixed the overlay. All right, and with that,
Nice.
we can get into the first game here. It's going to be the first game of Too Sexy for You, Too Sexy for You versus Persian Zerg. Yeah. Let's do it. Alright, bit of a struggle to start out today. That's pretty normal, honestly.
Gotta shake off the rest of it.
Exactly.
Do you want to introduce the players?
Alright. Oh, these colors, perfect. In the top right, in the magenta Zerg, it's Persian Zerg. And in the bottom right, in the purple Protoss, it's Too Sexy for You. Oh, they didn't do top versus bottom, so it's gonna be these colors. Excellent.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm kind of like indifferent to these type of colors. You know, it's just purple to me and a slightly darker shade of purple.
Yeah.
So that's as far as my color knowledge goes in this matchup.
I only know that this distinct color is magenta because it's in StarCraft, and that's what the menu calls it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know it. I would like without that, I wouldn't know it offhand. There.
Yeah.
So
we're seeing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we're going to see a Forge expand here from the Protoss. Too Sexy for You. We're seeing an Extractor trick from Persian Zerg. I don't know if that means that we're going to see like some kind of like 10-hatch rush or something. I think that might be what we're seeing here. I'm not sure, or if it's just a thing that Persian Zerg does sometimes.
Yeah, I think there was like a thread about the extractor trick being not that efficient, and it's better to just do the regular build, without the extractor trick.
Yeah, I think like under normal circumstances, but like there's certain builds where it gives you a timing advantage, if not a money advantage, and like I think that's what we're seeing here because getting your hatchery on 10 or 9 is not normal. In this matchup. So I think this is like going to be some kind of lingerish build that's trying to disguise itself as a regular build. And what we actually have here is a Nexus before Forge. And I honestly don't know if that works out.
Yeah, I think he saw the pull timing.
Yeah, I think it's too ambitious. Like, I think Zerg should, if they make like 12 lings, they should be able to kill the Protoss, right?
Yeah, they should be able to just moonwalk in, and he tried to block the natural as well with the probe, and that kind of got some delay on, but I don't know. I think it's going to work. That my money is on the Zerg in anyway.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, we do have at least 6 links coming out from the first hatchery, and the natural hatchery is coming up very soon. Oh, we're getting a gateway before the cannon? Oh my god, 2 Sexy for You is like too greedy for you. Holy hell, man.
Yeah, this is getting greedier by the minute.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Let's see here. So they have scouted 6 lings at least, and you need 2 cannons to deal with that. And the first cannon might be done in time. The second will not, but somehow it seems like the lings are staying behind to block the ramp rather than go in. So I'm really confused about this build from Zerg because I don't know why you get such an early hatchery. Like why you do all this stuff to get the hatchery on 9 or 10 or whatever it was, and then not use all these lings that you got.
Yeah, Too Sexy for You pulled the probes there to block that tiny gap that's right above the gateway. So one photon can actually suffice, and yeah, as you said, it's a bit of a conflicting build here. Like, why are you making that many lings if you're not gonna, box them all in and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a move across the map?
There we
But
go.
we'll see. Maybe just doing a fake with speed, on the back of it, and just maybe he's gonna run in anyway.
Yeah.
But
So we have
it's a
a sunken
build.
colony at the front, which is really weird. And we have a Hydra Den in the main base, which is not weird, but it is very cheesy. Like, this is not even 3 Hatch Hydra. This is going to be 2 Hatch Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like, I don't know if this was the plan all along or if this is a reaction, but Persian Zerg does not want to play a normal game. They're just gonna make a bunch of Hydras and try to shoot down all these cannons, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. I think my simple Terran brain can't comprehend these intricate Zerg builds.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's just gonna go with a few Hydras. With the speed is finishing up soon,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think he's just gonna siege with range finishing up as well. And I'd say the gateway and the forge are kind of exposed here, so I think he can put some damage on them. So
Yeah,
maybe
like,
that's the game plan here, to deny the +1.
yeah, there's not really like a way around that to avoid having your gateway and forge go down, honestly.
Yeah, that's a solid game plan, I guess, from the side of from the Zerg side. And I guess from this position, like, he was really heavy on the lings, and you're set back, economically. So the only logical follow up is basically like an all in. What happens when your first all in fails? You just gotta all in harder, right?
Exactly. And I don't know what 260 for you saw, but they saw something to make them get up to 5 cannons. Like, I don't know if they just do this whenever they can't scout, but this is actually gonna be pretty handy versus this Hydra bus. Like, I know versus 3 Hatch Hydra, it's like you go up to 4 cannons and then try to scout, and then if they're committing, go up to 7. But like, I feel like with 2 Hatch Hydra, like, you already know that they're committing, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I don't know what they saw that made them do this, but this is gonna be pretty good.
Maybe some spider senses, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Corsair is at least scouting, but the Corsair went straight to the north, and while the bust is actually happening, and he's hitting the gateway, but he has to hold position those Hydras. He's bleeding Hydras as we speak.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful about how you position these Hydras, or they'll stab like 1 hex too far forward and they'll get killed by the cannons. But here we go. It is happening.
This looks a lot better.
yeah. This is what you want. Uh-oh. There you go. That one guy. It's like when I'm trying to hit the bunker with my goons. Like, there's always one of them that just absolutely wants to get shot at.
Yes.
Now, one thing that I don't like...
It's happening.
Okay, here we go. We do see the Corsair going in, and there's a lair. So we are going to see some kind of follow-up.
Right, and the Corsair has had 2 kills so far, and Persian Zerg is actually in negative supply now, which is, gonna hinder his follow-up here. But the Hydras are there to kill the Corsair.
Yeah, it's saved.
And down it goes.
And we have a follow from GGZ, I think. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. Yeah. Sounds like they might know you.
Yeah.
Alright, so the gateway and forge go down at the front, but there's still plenty of cannons. The Protoss did get a backup forge in their main. They're getting Storm. They have a bunch of Zealots. They have some Templar coming out. So it seems pretty good for a Protoss. The one thing is, like, if I was in the position of 260 for you, I would not realize that it was only 2 base. Like, I would just assume that the 3rd base is somewhere that I didn't see yet. So I would be completely misreading what is going on here. And I'm really surprised that we see a Spire from Persian Zerg. Like, I just assumed that we're going to see, like, Lurker drop or just straight up Hydra drop.
That would be fun, actually. Like a
Yeah.
lurker drop in the main, like there's nothing there to defend it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Let me tell you, if anyone remembers my games from week 1, it is not fun to have a lure drop in your main when you have no defense.
yeah, the Corsair is just scouting across the map, as you said. Like he's feeling a bit suspicious about,
Yeah.
what's my position? Is the Zerg on 3 base? Is the Zerg on 5 base? He doesn't know, so he's just scouting the 11 o'clock position.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of knows now, like what he's up against. He's going back into the main once again to confirm the Spire. And I think the Protoss is in an okay position here. I guess this is the position that you kind of want to be in, right?
Yeah.
You just power up on 2 bases. You get your +1 Zealot legs, get some Dragoons in there, get your Storm up, and I think some High Templars are there right at the ramp, gathering up energy. So I think this is okay. Like it looks a bit grim when a bunch of Hydras are hitting your natural, but it kind of stabilized from there, and it's looking all good for the Protoss now. I don't see the Zerg doing any kind of cheesy follow up, as you said, with like a lurker drop, or being extremely greedy and taking all the bases on the map, because that's usually what the Zergs do when they play against me on ladder. But we're seeing an hidden expo, across the map for Zerg.
It's a Mutas here, which have come to the natural. It seems like 2-6 for you did not keep making Corsairs, but at this point, there's cannons everywhere. There's Storm established. Like, I don't think these Mutas are going to do too much. I don't think they're going to do enough to make up for the fact that the Protoss has double the worker count here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like as we said, like the opening was kind of, the extractor trick into, that specific build, and then the follow up Hydra thing. Like you're gonna be cutting drones like a madman. So what we see on the map of the Zerg, that's basically all that the Zerg has. Like a control group of Hydras and a control group of Mutas. And he's got to make this work.
I think this Protoss Death Ball is just going to be too powerful. As long as we see some decent storms, like all of the Zerg units are just going to melt. Oh my god, there we go.
Oh no. Those are some 2-3 HP Mutas.
So harsh. And they're basically just going to get killed by one goon shot when the fight comes.
Yeah.
And like there's no lurkers, so there's no real like staying power to the Zerg army. It's all gonna melt, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Persian Zerg set his rally point like all the way to like 3 o'clock. I think there are some units there. They're on a strike, but Too Sexy For You is coming in with the storms.
All over everything. Goons getting stuck on the bridge. They can't get across, but there's just so much Protoss stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of storms banked up there, and you can just see the Protoss just powering through, and we should be just seeing GG any moment now. This is harsh.
Oh, yeah. This is Protoss basically held the cheese and just got off their game plan here.
Yeah.
Very solid. All right, and that is going to be the first game of the night. Get into game 2 real quick. Oh, yeah, it's up. I almost started without you. I'm so used to casting by myself.
I'm in. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. I really want to find out what the game plan was for Zerg there, because I know that there are builds that look like that. So I want to know if it was what the plan was. All right, we have some more different colors this time. In the top left of Polaris Rhapsody, it's the Protoss player in the pink, Too Sexy For You. And in the bottom right, the yellow Zerg, Persian Zerg. So,
Yeah, and as you said, the colors are a bit more easy on the eyes this time.
Yeah. So I know you're a Terran player, right? But what do you think about this map? Because it's new this season.
Yeah, I kind of like this map, but on the other hand, like there's a lot of ridiculous ridges and ramps all over the map, and I don't think it has like a natural like expansion pattern.
Yeah.
From a Terran perspective, your third here has no gas, so that kind of skews up some certain matchups, like TVP, for example. But all in all, I think this is a cool map. You can see that the probe just went over a bridge. There are a couple of choke points here on the map that you can easily defend. But the challenge is to actually get out there on the map, I think. So this map has some advantages, but also some disadvantages.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know what you mean about the bases. Like, I feel like all of the third bases feel bad for some reason or another.
Yes.
But really, it means that you're making some kind of choice. And like, speaking of choices, we're seeing the same thing here from the Zerg player, like the extractor trick into the 10 hatch.
Yeah.
So this is something that's been planned here. So I hope that we get to see what it's meant to do.
I think it might have to do something with like punishing an ultra greedy Protoss, and
Maybe.
to just run in slow lings, like a bunch of them, and just surrounding the cannon, I guess, if they just go one cannon and somehow fail to block. But that's just a game plan that relies on Protoss's mistakes, right? So you can't always bank on that. So it's just it's a gamble, and I hope it pays off this time for him.
Yeah, and it seems like Too Sexy For You is gonna do the same greedy opener themselves here, getting that Nexus before the Forge. And this is one of the things that I've been liking about a Forge Expand, is like you can benefit so much from the scouting. And we see the gateway before the Forge is even done, and like I don't think this placement is correct. Like I'm pretty sure the Forge is supposed to be like one tick to the left and maybe one tick down, and then the gateway goes like on top of the Forge.
Yeah.
But one thing about this placement is it does like it blocks the ramp. Like if lings do run by, they'll have to go in a big arc around the cannon rather than like go up the ramp. So I don't know if that's like if that's worth it, or like if the Protoss just doesn't know this map yet, doesn't know the wall. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, cue the Benny Hill music, because the Zerglings are going across the map again.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time a bit more successful than the first time. And this time he has them all boxed up, and I think the A move is gonna happen this time, instead of a couple of them, blocking the ramp. And there are a couple more Zerglings coming in. They just killed the probe, so they're, enforcing the 6 lings that are in front of the natural. But the second cannon is finishing for Too Sexy For You, so the probes are also on hold position, so this is pretty much defended.
Yeah, wow, I can't believe that you can do this as Protoss. Like, before the speed is done, you get 2 cannons and a Zealot after going Nexus first. Like, I cannot believe that's possible. But here we go.
Yeah, something about Protoss, being able to do everything.
Yeah.
Cough. Terran tears.
Exactly. And now, like, it seems like we're gonna see. Whoa. Okay, so it is a different follow-up, going straight to Lair this time, rather than through the Hydras. So maybe we're gonna go right to Bermudas. And like, if they do come out, they're gonna be much earlier. That might be like 1 or 2 Corsairs when a big flock of Bermudas shows up.
Yeah, and he's also like banking gas as we speak, so he's at 300 something gas. And I think the game plan might be Spire, as we see, like it's just made below his layer. And I think this might just blindside Too Sexy For You, because I think Too Sexy for You had that spider sense last game and just made a bunch of cannons, but those aren't going to help you against Muta Harass in your mineral line. So, and I don't see any cannons in this mineral line. So that's gonna be something.
Yeah, I think like the Corsair might make it to the Zerg base like when the Scourge and or Mutas pop. So it's gonna be a very, very narrow window of time.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we're
like,
seeing a fourth cannon going up.
Yeah, so maybe this is just like Too Sexy for You's game plan is just like assume Hydras and get a wall.
Yeah.
And like, you're right, like these are not gonna help. Like they do not cover either of the mineral lines.
And just one Stargate isn't really going to cut it, I think, against two base Muta. The Spire just finished. And it's happening.
Yeah.
All the eggs are morphed into Mutas.
And this one pair of Scourge is just going to bop the first Corsair, and then Zerg will have like air control for a long time. And Too Sexy for You is even going up to a fifth cannon. Like, blind. Like, this is like all in on gambling that you're like going to see Hydras. Which I mean, you did last game, but like you can't really count on that. Like you need to get some kind of scouting before you do that. Oh, and here we go. The first Corsair is caught.
Oh, no. Very nice micro from the Zerg. He caught the Corsair just on the retreat path. And now it's you have to panic make cannons right now. And I think Too Sexy for You is doing it right now. The one in the main got up really early. It's halfway done, but the Mutas are on their way. I hope they get some damage done here.
Here we go.
They're focusing the cannon.
Yeah, I swear, cannons build like slower when there's units nearby. Some hidden debug. There's one Corsair here,
no!
But it can't do.
It's a massacre.
It can't do enough damage. Even the glaives are going to kill these probes. When you're Protoss and you're making goons to stop mutas, then you know that you're in a bad position. These goons are just so bad.
Yeah, and one even falls there.
Yeah.
The Corsair has lost all of his shields, sitting at 2 shields there. And the mutas are going to wreak havoc in the main base of the Protoss. And this is going to be a really tough one because, as we saw last game, a 2-base Protoss can just, bulk up and just move across the map. But with the early mutas, and, he got a bit caught, he got blindsided by the early mutas. And, the Corsairs are trying to hold off, but, as you can see, in small numbers, they really can't hold the mutas.
I almost think that these mutas should be going to the natural mineral line. Like, they're trying to take down the Stargate, but it has so much health, and like while they're bouncing back and forth, like between the Corsairs and the buildings, like they are taking a lot of damage. So I feel like if you just went to the natural, focus down that one cannon and killed all the probes.
Oh, like, another Corsair goes down.
I don't know. Here I guess we are going to see the Stargate go down, but there are going to be 3 cannons in the mineral line now, which is much stronger. I guess who cares when you just kill all the gateways?
Oh, we're bleeding a couple of mutas here. This is crucial that you keep all of your units alive. And all those gateways are becoming unpowered now, so that's really unfortunate for Too Sexy for You.
Yeah,
the Lings just walk into cannons, but there's only one gateway, functional at the moment.
And there's no room in the natural to try to rebuild these gateways. It seems like there's enough cannons to scare off these wounded mutas, but they can just kill the entire main. Like, a Protoss that is stuck in their natural with 1 gateway and 1 Stargate is never going to threat the Zerg.
Yeah. Another cannon's going up in the Protoss mineral line. I think what a lot of players, that play Brood War know is that usually getting an advantage is quite easy, I guess, in Brood War, but actually killing someone really, really difficult.
Yeah.
And this part kind of proves it in that way. Like the Zerg has like about a whole control group Mutas, but he can't quite kill the Protoss yet because of all the cannons and like the remade Stargate.
Yeah.
So it's looking to be like you know, the Zerg is in a heavy advantage here, but it seems like the Protoss managed to eke out like a single High Templar, and it's building up energy as we speak. And Storm is like almost 90% done. So this is gonna be you know, really interesting. And ooh, an Archon is being made.
I feel like you should have at least tried to cast the storms before making this Archon, but I don't know. Oh my god, a bunch of mutas do go down. I don't know how Protoss could possibly come back in this game, except for maybe this hidden base here in the top right. Like, if
Well,
this
I
never gets
didn't
figured out.
even notice.
Yeah, like, because like even if all of these mutas die, the entire Protoss army is one Archon and 2 Corsairs. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it just doesn't seem that good. Here we go. The mutas are really stacked. This does a lot of splash damage.
And the Archon also deals splash
Oh,
damage,
yeah.
and you can see it deals 30 right-click damage.
Yeah.
And 2 Corsairs are also deal.
Oh, the mutas are gonna fly to the top right.
Damage.
They're gonna find the base
no.
before the cannons come up. Feels bad.
2 cannons.
So more mutas will get killed here by these cannons, but not enough.
You know, ironically, I
Corsairs
think this will give the Protoss a bit more of a breathing room. So because the distance is so huge,
Yeah.
I hope that the Protoss, you know, will rebuild something, or at least manage to make something that resembles an army.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Like, we have 2 Archons as our entire ground army, and some probes that we're bringing, and like now that Zerg has switched into some ground units here, like, these Hydras are going to deal with the Corsair and Archon very easily. These poor probes, I don't know why they thought they could get away with this. Oh, here we go. We got major stacking here on these mutas. I just want to see like a giant Archon head take on like
Yeah.
1,000 gas worth of units.
That is satisfying to see, but I think the Protoss kind of stabilized here if Zerg just stood on mutas, but the ground army of, you know, a whole control group of Hydras are gonna complicate things, because we don't have any splash damage other than the Archons. I don't think the High Templar has energy for Storm yet, and I think the Zerg is already knocking at the front door.
Yeah, here we go. Can the Protoss hold on? They might have one really sick Storm, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh, here we go.
Here. Really nice Storm here on these Hydras. It's like 5 Hydras, but Archon is just get chewed up by Hydras. They are not useful.
Oh no, that was a money Storm, but that's not enough for the Protoss.
Oh, there's enough cannons hiding in the mineral line that I just have to pull back for now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as you said, the Archon just got chewed up because pretty much everything does full damage against shields. So, and, you know, the Archon just consists of mostly shields. So he got taken down quite fast. The mutas aren't even attacking here, but this is going to grind the Protoss in a really slow and meticulous way. The Zerg is retreating, regrouping with another fresh group of Hydras, and I think this last, you know, right-click moment is going to be the end of this.
I think you're right. The Protoss is trying to reclaim the main here with the Nexus and 2 gateways, but I think it's still too late here. Yeah, the cannons are being focused down. The Corsairs have nothing to fight.
And the probes come off the mineral line, and I think this is it.
There we go.
And the GG is being called.
All right, the series is going to be brought to Game 3 here. So we did see, I guess, what the really fast hatchery build is supposed to do here. Maybe it's less about the links and more about like a really fast layer to get these mutas, because we've seen that happen both times.
Yeah, I think we just got mind gamed by the Zerg, like he even mind gamed us.
I think the game's up.
Yep, let's go.
Alright, let's get into game number 3. There we go. Alright. In the top right, in the, I don't know what color this is, like, it's not quite gray, it's got some pink in it. It's the Zerg player, Persian Zerg. And in the bottom left, it's the blue Protoss, Too Sexy For You. This is Polypoid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like this type of color on the Zerg because it makes it look like it's something really organic, you know?
Yeah.
It's a skin color type of pink. So.
Yeah.
And we'll probably see the same build maybe from Persian Zerg. The extractor trick into early pool into a bunch of links.
Let's see here. It seems like it might have been just picked as a game plan here for a Persian Zerg.
Let me see.
Ryu is sticking to the same thing. Oh, I think it might just be a 9 pool because we don't see the extractor trick. We don't see an overlord. Yes. Okay. So it is a more conventional, aggressive build here.
Yeah, a 9 pool, and I think Too Sexy For You is, you know, doing something sneaky maybe with the probe. But oh no, he was just scouting there. I think we'll see the same greedy opening. Oh, it's a forge first. Okay.
Yeah, I think because Too Sexy For You was able to scout the Zerg, they were able to make that greedy choice. But if you don't see them, then you just have to get a forge because, like, if it is 9 pool speed, you will never win with a Nexus first. But like, so I assume what we're gonna see here is just we're just gonna see 2 cannons, and like that's gonna hold this build.
Yeah.
Basically, like until they make so many links that you need like 3 cannons or something, but then you have a gateway and you can block. So like I don't feel like this is gonna go well.
Yeah.
For Persian Zerg, at least in the opening.
Yeah, and as you said, Too Sexy For You scouted all those eggs that are links, and immediately put down 2 cannons. This should theoretically hold, but you know, the links can just run by maybe if they just right click. But it's also cross position, right? So that's really gonna put a dent in this build order of Persian Zergs.
Yeah, and I like how we're seeing the exact opposite end of the spectrum here from the Protoss. Like in the first 2 games, they were as greedy as possible, and this game, like they're even getting a gateway just to help wall before they get the Nexus. Like I don't even know if that's necessary, but it's just like okay, they're like okay, I do not want to lose to 9 pool speed.
And it's game 3, right? So you're really gonna feel bad if something cheesy like that happens. Oh, the Zealot got cancelled there.
Yeah, probably just gonna get the core for the Zealot. Like the Zealot isn't gonna help very much at this point. It seems like the Lings aren't even really gonna try to bust that, and we don't. It's not 9 pool speed. It's 9 pool layer, so we still have, I assume, like fast mutas coming up.
Oh, but Too Sexy For You's probe is just still wandering about. And down goes the probe. I think Too Sexy For You is, you know, still in the dark, but I think he still caught the tail end of that layer morphing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as your mind goes, it's like Well, he did the Hydra bust earlier, and then quick layer into Muta, and if you see a quick layer again, you're gonna be thinking Muta. So I think this time the Protoss is going to be a bit more well prepared than the previous game. At least I hope so.
Yeah. Although, it's not Spire. It's a Hydra Den, so I think we're gonna see lurkers this time.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Maybe even with a drop. We do have one Overlord here that's positioned near the Protoss base, although I think ideally for drop it would be placed like near the main.
Yeah, exactly. Like more at the fourth there at 6 o'clock maybe. Yeah, I think we're just gonna see how this pans out. Like I think Too Sexy for You might just get the spidey senses tingling again and make 4 blind cannons again, or 5 blind cannons, which will save him in this scenario. But there's also that threat of the Muta build, and as I was speaking earlier, like when you scout early layer, and the early layer build was Muta, you kinda anticipate that. And Too Sexy for You put up 2 photon cannons in his mineral line. But that's the wrong answer here. That's the wrong answer. Like the Hydras are gonna be knocking on his front door with well, not even Hydras. I'm seeing that the lurker aspect is being researched. So this is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because like it is lurkers, but there's no drop, so it's gonna be like an attempt at a lurker bust. I don't know if it'll be like a contain and like try to go into macro, or like a bust and try to kill the Protoss. It does seem like we have a third base here in the bottom right, so like maybe Zerg doesn't feel like they have to go all in with these lurkers.
Yeah, this looks a lot more reminiscent of like a TVP, where you kind of expand and then defend those expansions with lurkers.
So by the way,
but no, Persian Zerg boxed the lurkers and he's going for it.
All right, here we go. I just want to point out that Too Sexy for You did not even scout with the Corsairs. They were so traumatized by the last game that they just routed them to this cannon in the main, and they're getting the air weapons too. Like, they have no idea that these lurkers are on the way. Of course, now they're here. They're gonna start shooting down this gateway.
Yeah, and Persian Zerg surely knows how to spice it up. Like earlier, it was Hydra's knocking on his door, on the front door of Protoss, and now it's just lurkers knocking on the front door, and the gateway goes down here. So I guess mission accomplished. But the Hydras, the Corsairs are going for a counterattack in hopes of sniping some overlords, getting the supply block that we saw earlier in the game. But the Zerg's third is coming up now, and the contain has been set, and he's slowly sieging the forge as well. This is looking more and more like game 1 that we saw, but this time with some kind of a lurker contain. And are my eyes deceiving me, or do I see a Dark Templar just walking across the map?
But I don't think it's going to get any damage done. We do have a bunch of overlords in the base of Zerg and all of these Hydras. I thought maybe like it was going to go with the Observer, and, like try to clean out the lurkers that way, but it has left the base.
Oh, the DT is going to the more traditional Zerg third, and he's not seeing anything because that's not where the Zerg expanded. And now the invisible man is just, scouting the Zerg army walking across here without any overlords. So you can kind of get some free swipes off. But I think the DT is going more of, for an economical damage idea. But you can't get past, 5 overlords protecting the entrance of the natural. But here come the Corsairs. They're trying to scurry away the overlords, but there are just way too many Hydras around to protect the overlords. He's trying to get in any way possible, but yeah, the Zerg is just defending his overlords as a good Zerg should.
Exactly.
And no damage done here so far.
Yeah, the ADT hasn't got anything done yet. It's so painful because like if it just went to the bottom right, it could kill the entire base because there's no overlord anywhere near there.
Yeah.
Oh, it seems like we do have the observer out for Protoss, and with these goons, they force these lurkers to escape. And like, I think it is going to be like game 1, where the Protoss, for the most part, just live through all of the cheese, and is going to have a big army here. Like, this contain really isn't a contain anymore. We're just going to see the Protoss gear up for a mid-game push.
Yeah.
Zerg doesn't have a whole lot. Like, they're way behind what they would be in a more like standard game.
Yeah, and exactly like we talked about in the previous game, if you leave a Protoss on 2 base for too long, inevitably like the death push of like Corsair, Zealot, Storm, Dragoon is gonna happen. And I think Too Sexy For You is pulling the trigger right now. He's storming the lurkers. Ooh, that's a money storm right on top of the Hydras and 2 lurkers. And another money storm
lurkers.
on 3 lurkers. Yeah, that's huge.
It is a bit awkward here, because of the ramp. There we go. Finally, realizes how low those lurkers are and comes to kill them. But actually, Protoss took a lot of damage in that fight because of the really nice arc that Zerg had set up. Like, Protoss still wins that fight, but like it's gonna be a lot harder for them to kill Zerg. Like, most of the Templar went down, a lot of Zealots and some Goons went down, so the ability to kill Zerg has been hurt here.
I think the Zerg had his rally point set up on that hill, so we're seeing some loose Hydras, walking across the map. And as we talked about, it wasn't really a contain, and the Protoss saw that and actually just broke that contain with beautiful storms, and is now gearing up to take the mineral third here. But the Zerg has been enjoying that bottom right expansion and is now sniping those Corsairs that just scouted that. And the Protoss is like, not on my watch. And you can see the 1A, 2A, 3A happening. We are seeing another additional sunken colony being made on that bottom right expansion. We are seeing a lurker on the ramp. But I think the Protoss army is just too huge. The Templars are just lingering behind, so he won't have any storms to break the ramp yet. But it looks like it's already broken because there's very little to defend here.
Oh, these goons are blocking the ramp. Classic. Okay, here we go. Protoss is trying to force their army up the ramp. Oh, the observers are getting sniped. Oh my god, it's painful.
The Protoss is getting flanked from above, like.
Yeah. Where are the Templar? We need him to kill this the massive Zerg here. But the Protoss army is really struggling to get up a ramp. Here we go. Oh my god.
Ooh, a money storm. That's just melted the whole control group of Hydras. I was gonna say that the Zerg was getting, the Protoss was getting sandwiched there, but the Zerg was unfortunately trapped in with the Protoss. You're not trapped in. You're trapped in with me, that type of thing. And really big storm on the drones there as well. And I think that actually does it for this expansion, unless the reinforcements can save it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really close here, but I think these goons are gonna kill this base. Oh, there's no storm on this Templar. There's a hero Templar with 20 kills, and I guess with these reinforcing Hydras.
Templar.
With these reinforcing Hydras. The base will live for now, but the Protoss third base is up. They still have more workers than Zerg. They have plenty of reinforcements of their own.
Yeah, and great hold position on the ramp for Zerg as well. And a nice observer snipe there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of the position that a Protoss wants to be in, right? Like you deal some kind of damage, you secure your third, and because it's a mineral third, you can just churn out insane amounts of zealots here. And you know, Too Sexy For You is just macroing it up. As you can see, all the gateways are just producing units. And I think we're gonna see, like, you know, you can already see a discrepancy in the supplies. Too Sexy For You is almost, you know, doubling the supply of the Zerg. And, you know, we're not seeing any other type of tech from the Zerg other than Lurker Hydra. So this is gonna be interesting.
Big attack
he
here,
chooses to engage.
Too far forward, yeah. Huge storm on 3 Lurkers. Protoss is doing so much damage in this fight. Somehow this one Lurker manages to hang out in the back, but the rest of the Zerg army has just been slaughtered here. And now Zerg has 1/3 the supply of their opponent.
Yeah, that was just a really great engagement from the Protoss side, and I think the Protoss is at a point where the storms are just gonna regenerate. You know, he's gonna have sufficient storms whenever a fight happens, and you know, I don't see the Zerg really doing anything from here. Like usually, what kind of keeps the Protoss on its toes is like the switch of like Hydra to Muta or Muta to Hydra, and then, you know, maybe some Guardians here and there, just to throw the Protoss off. But once you let the Protoss get to this stage of you know, infinite Zealots and infinite Storms, you kind of are getting pushed back, you know, all the way to your main, to your natural, and I think that's also what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, so we do have this giant Protoss army here headed for the natural and main of Zerg, but also we have these 5 Hydras coming here to shut down the 4th base that is coming here for the Protoss. I think that we'll be able to keep it alive.
Oh, he got the cancel on it, but the natural,
oh, no, why'd you
we're seeing a huge fight happening.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter. We have a giant fight here at the natural, like you said. Storm in the middle
great
line on
storm.
all the Hydras. 1 second colony is trying its best. Just completely surrounded. Oh my god, a huge storm on the drones.
That was more of a manner storm, I guess. That's
yeah. Alright.
Very well played by the Protoss.
Yeah, and that is going to be the first series here for Fear Factory. If I can find the score. There you go. Alright, that we can get into the second series. It's going to be JoJo versus Mr. Wizard. And Mr. Wizard is the one who requested that I cast this group, so these games had better be good.
Yeah, did you re-host?
Yeah, I just put it up.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, let's get into it. Alright, here in the top left of Fighting Spirit, it is the blue Protoss JoJo. And in the bottom left, in the black Protoss, it's Mr. Wizard. And of course, this is PvP, you know, the best matchup. The game of gentlemen.
Yeah, the 20 minutes no rush gentleman's agreement.
I just want to point out that, like, Mr. Wizard, I've been playing with him for a long time, and like 2 seasons ago, he was like tier 3 or tier 2, and now he's tier 0. Like, what a god. Yeah, he's doing really good.
A lot of people have been improving a lot and really fast as well.
Exactly. That's kind of the point of CPL. So it's really cool to see that happen here.
Yeah, we're seeing the APM numbers going off the chart. Who said that Protoss doesn't need APM? You can clearly see that JoJo is hitting notes of, as high as 550 APM. Gotta put those probes to work.
Yeah, you gotta try. Yeah, like micromanage each probe trip to and from the minerals.
Yeah. Maximize the profits for 2 mineral gain.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think they're gonna scout the wrong direction. They're gonna pass each other like 2 ships in the night, I think.
Ooh,
JoJo is scouting cross.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And Mr. Wizard is scouting counterclockwise here. And the moment they see each other, I think Wizard is gonna know where the Protoss is at. I'm curious where he's going to send his probe.
I don't know.
And he's going on to scout counterclockwise.
Yeah, I like when I'm casting and like I watch the angles that the workers come from. I'm like, oh well, you should clearly know that it came from the middle, so you know which base it came from. But like when I'm in the game, I just like can't put that together. So like,
yeah,
I can't really blame a wizard for scouting incorrectly there.
Yeah, it's a lot of from a spectator's perspective, you kind of see everything with a bird's eye view, right? But to be in the driver's seat of this game, it's you have to account for so many things. Like you have to hit your build order, you have to hit your pylons, you have to make probes constantly. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this great game. So I don't blame him at all.
Yeah. Looks like both players are doing very standard builds here. No crazy deviations just yet. Seems like JoJo was maybe like a little bit reluctant to start ranged, like they were trying to sneak something. And I didn't realize there's a probe of Mr. Wizard that's still in the mineral line, manages to build a mana pylon despite there being a Dragoon already alive.
Oh wow!
What a Chad!
Yeah, and that mana pylon is going to prevent a probe, getting some mining done.
I think the pylon should have been canceled.
Yeah, I think so too. But that
I don't really know what the math is on that, but still a nice power move.
Yeah. Just even for just asserting dominance in this matchup, I think that's it paid the 100 minerals in full worth, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like Mr. Wizard is going for 2 gateways and a robo, whereas in JoJo's base we have the second gateway coming earlier, but no robo. So this could lead to like a very narrow window of time where JoJo has 1 more goon. But I think the 2-gate builds are supposed to come a lot faster than that, so maybe they were messed up by the mana pylon. And yeah, we do have this robo. It's just gonna be later than we see from Mr. Wizard. And Mr. Wizard isn't even getting an observatory. They're just going straight into Reaver tech.
Oh wow!
So that could give them like this could be a significant window of time here if Wizard goes with the first Reaver.
Yeah. I think there's also like this this ambiguity when you're playing PvP. So you're just in a defensive posture the whole time until you can defend everything and safely expand. I don't really play Protoss, but I assume that's kind of the play here. And as we can see in this how the build orders match up against each other. JoJo is just powering out Dragoons and is walking across the map now. and Wizard is trying to hold on with this force until the Reaver comes out. And as you said, this might give Jojo a timing window in this sense. Like he can just overpower this force. The last time I checked, 6 Dragoons were better than 4 Dragoons.
Yeah, we do have
and the
this one
Zealot.
Zealot and the Reaver though. Like this Reaver gets some big hits off. It will absolutely tip this fight, but it's gonna come down to micro.
Yeah,
What is it?
and yeah, Wizard just put up that pylon. As you can see, pylons kind of have this weird AI programmed into them that they kind of draw aggro. So that's really a good move to kind of put the pylon in there. So some of the Dragoon shots are getting wasted on the pylon. So that might give his other units more effective HP. So that was quite a good small micro move that is actually really valuable for any Protoss player. But I think that kind of scared Jojo off here. I don't think Jojo saw the Reaver, but maybe just a little bit, enough to scare him off. Jojo is coming here with an offensive rally, and as you can see, there's a lot of Dragoons here with an observer. So I think this is like some kind of contain here what we got going on, but it's going to be really a curious case once the shuttle pops out, because I only see 2 Dragoons on Jojo's side that are just patrolling, and I don't think that's enough, is it?
Well, I think it would be enough if Jojo was microing the goons to chase the shuttle, and like we don't see speed for Mr. Wizard, so the shuttle can't like rocket past the goons or anything. But like I don't think that Mr. Wizard has to attack anytime soon. Like they got their Nexus much earlier. They were behind on probes, but they've caught up now, and they're going to get more ahead. Oh, they even caught the observer. And it seems like Jojo is like just trying to skip ahead to Templar tech. The thing about Templar tech is like Storm is better than Reavers, but it takes longer to get like enough storms, right? Because the Reaver doesn't use mana, it just uses money, so it's much faster to replenish. So there is a window of time where the Reaver player has a big advantage in fights.
Yeah, and as you said, it takes a long time to get storms because first you have to research storm, and then you have to make High Templars, and those High Templars have to gather energy. So it's like kind of like carriers, right? It takes a long time to make the carriers, and the Reaver is getting some shots off, but I think Jojo was trying to waddle forward with the Dragoons to kind of get a snipe off, but ooh, no, those 2 Dragoons didn't manage to kill the Reaver there. And now we're actually seeing the ultimate move, I'd say, for the Protoss is just a shuttle with 2 Reavers in them.
Oh yeah.
And Mr. Wizard has it. And he's actually moving across the map with the shuttle and the 2 Reavers in them, and you can actually choose your fight quite liberally because you can pretty much shoot from anywhere.
Oh, I
but
got
he's kind of getting surrounded,
forward.
and
oh no, that's I feel that pain. Dude, that shuttle, it's so expensive.
The shuttle with 2 Reavers in them, that's like the investment that you do to change the course of this game, and having that sniped really sucks because those Reavers could have been Dragoons, and Dragoons, that's what Jojo has, and that kind of, I think Jojo is smelling blood in the water here, and he can pull the trigger anytime. And a really nice storm.
Yeah. See here, the arc is better for Mr. Wizard. But I think the Zealots and the expert numbers are going to tip it in favor of Jojo. The boys are being pulled, but They're really pointless when you have this many goons, and Mr. Wizard has to tap out. It all comes down to that shuttle. That was it. Just losing that shuttle.
Yeah.
PvP, baby.
Well played by both parties, and just a really presence of mind from the Protoss that sniped the shuttle. I think he was just sitting there the whole game, waiting for the shuttle to show up, the shuttle showed up. So that was really well played on his side.
I got a follow from Jojo Han Music, who I can only assume is related. I'm actually gonna get some water. Like, it's been like 10 seconds.
Yeah, sure, go for it. I'll entertain the chat meanwhile. So, have you guys seen anything that you particularly liked from these players? Either Too Sexy for You and Persian Zerg, or Jojo and Mr. Wizard. Drop something that you liked about their play. Let's get some compliments going on for these people, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Fear Factory is just really playing really well. Not that I'm on Fear Factory or anything, but they're just the best team, and I think they're just gonna win the CPL. They all play Protoss, so I can't respect anything they do.
Rude.
Yeah, that was a great shuttle snipe.
Alright, we're gonna get back.
Yeah, great macro. Welcome back. Let's start off the second game.
Yes. Alright, in the top left of Polaris Rhapsody, it's the victor of last game in the orange Protoss, Jojo. And in the bottom right, the magenta Protoss, Mr. Wizard. So, this map, in this matchup, like, 2-player maps are really big in this matchup. We had a probe hit the Nexus for a second there, that's interesting. So 2-player maps are big in PvP because, like, you know where to proxy to cheese them, but also they scout you faster, so, like, they will know that you cheese. And it's a really long map. A lot of PvP is being, like, really defensive because your opponent can kill you if you make a small mistake, like lose your one shuttle, right? But on a long rush map, that's harder to do. So you can see a lot of, like, greedy plays on this map.
Yeah, and we're seeing quite a forward pylon from Jojo. So I think, he's gonna take the ramp again, like previous game. And I've watched a couple of PvPs, but as far as I can see, it's either you gotta accumulate some kind of army and then kind of choose your tech based on what you see, and it's just spamming a lot of dragoons and going into splash damage, be it Storm or Reaver, and you kind of have to match your opponent's army so you can expand safely. So that's why, like last game, there was some kind of discrepancy between the dragoons mate and the other player that went for tech had less dragoons but also had the splash damage. So that's kind of the pivotal point here in this matchup, where one side usually spams dragoons and the other one goes for tech, or they both go for tech, or different types of tech. And we're seeing a 1v1 happening, and the probe just killed another probe.
So actually, a bit brutal here for Mr. Wizard to not have that scouting. Also, I think Wizard, like, Manor Cybercord himself a little bit. Like, I think it blocks, like, the left side of this mineral patch.
I think so too, or it makes it really narrow.
Yeah,
it blocks it off. You can see the probe just slightly bumping into it and then rerouting. So that's gonna cost him, 4 minerals per round, I think. because of the time that it takes to recalibrate. Um, and we're seeing, a 2 gate into 1 gate uh, goon range. Um, what kind of implications does this have in this 1v1 matchup?
Well, so normally, if you go 2-gate in this matchup, you start with the 2 gateways and you make some zealots, and then either you get a base or you start making goons. But this is very different. This is, well, I thought it was going to be 2-gate goon, but instead of getting a good range in the goons, JoJo's getting a very fast citadel. So this is going to be some kind of Templar build. I don't know if it's like it was planning to be 2-gate goon, and then they saw what this wizard was doing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just going to be a DTs. You can mostly see how that's going to go. Like either wizards are going to have a detection or they won't.
Yeah, that's kind of binary in that sense.
Yeah.
But usually the Protoss can just block the ramp, kind of stall with with body blocking of the ramp of the of the robotics, and somehow get the observer out and then kind of hold the DT rush. But it seems like that we're seeing a Templar archives being built, and as you said, it's going to be a Templar build. But is it going to be High Templar, or is it going to be the Dark Templar kind of game?
I'm sure it's going to be DTs now. Like, you'd never get High Templar on one base, because like you're going to get like one storm, and that's it. But it's eternally like you make DTs. If you don't kill them, you expand, and then you try to hold on with cannons and DTs until you get storm. Like, you try to like just barely get storm done when they attack you, then you storm the Reavers or storm all the goons.
All right, that's an interesting matchup specific thing, that it kind of ebb and flows, despite going for like a DT type of build.
Yeah, like, I feel like PvP is rock paper scissors, but people pick rock like 80% of the time. And the rock is a robo builds, right? And then I guess that makes a DT scissors, and like just goons is paper.
Yeah. And as we speak, we are seeing 2 scissors just walking across the map.
Yeah.
These are brave Dark Templars that want to hit the Protoss before they get detection. But Mr. Wizard is like covering all of his bases, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. I'm just gonna get my
not blocking
observer.
the ramp. Like, these units are not blocking the ramp, and this, like, there's a chance here that the observer spawns exactly the wrong time. Oh no, the DTs try to attack. They're not trying to run by and kill the probes. I didn't even realize this with these zealots going across. But
the block on the ramp.
Observer is here. It does manage to get the DT, and now I think this attack from JoJo is going to be shut down. I didn't even realize it was like this kind of build. Yeah, we have 5 goons versus 3 zealots, and the goons are gonna
oh no. Well, do you know what happened there, Warp Gates? Like, JoJo was going for like a pimpest play of trying to walk the Dark Templars behind the Dragoons and actually putting them on hold position on the ramp, so the Dragoons couldn't retreat. But
Warcraft 3 surround.
Unfortunately, exactly. Warcraft 3 shade blocking surround. Those invisible units as well. And the intentions were great. I like myself some cheeky pimpest plays here, but the observer was out on time, and to make matters worse, we're having a robotic support bay. We'll probably have some Reaver counterattacking happening, and that's exactly what's happening. Mr. Wizard saw the investment in the DTs and basically called JoJo's bluff, like, okay, you invested all that stuff into DTs, you probably don't have enough to defend. And JoJo is just scrambling here with some cannons here, but a shuttle with a Reaver in it. The Reaver is basically a Terran siege tank in this way. You can really siege this position of the photon cannons. And last time I checked, 3 Dragoons
not be
are less than 8 Dragoons and a Reaver.
Yeah.
So the sieging that I talked about is happening as we speak, and that's one cannon down, and 2 Scarabs for the other one. There we go, and that's basically he opened the floodgates, and Mr. Wizard is just wailing away on this natural here.
There is a DT Nexus in the mineral line of Mr. Wizard. Somehow, finally, there are some goons, but it's gonna get 8 kills. So Mr. Wizard definitely needs to deal some damage here, and killing this Nexus and the probes with it is definitely gonna be a good way to start that.
Wow, that was a great counterattack. I hadn't even noticed that.
Yeah, it's like that's a thing that can happen when you go DT builds. Like 1 or 2 goons just don't kill DTs very fast, and like if you have them a rally, they might just walk right past a DT. And actually, like I got coached by Shafir last season that like if you're in this position where you are going robo and your opponent goes DT, like just get a forge anyway. Just get a forge, put like 1 cannon or 2 cannons at your choke, and then I'll go kill them with your observer. Like it feels bad, but it's so much safer.
Yeah, as you said, units kind of have their a mind of their own, and DTs can just get some really good probe kills, when they are unattended. And as we can see, like Mr. Wizard denied the natural, he took it down, and is now going for like contain on the ramp. And this is like a really strong position from Mr. Wizard. He's getting his own natural up, so that's it's looking really good from Mr. Wizard's side. And in terms of probes, I think we also kind of stabilized as well. Jojo is sitting at 23 probes, and Mr. Wizard sitting at 21 probes. So most of Mr. Wizard's army is supply is in army, which is why the contain is happening as it is. And as you said, the ebb and flow of this PvP, when you open DTs, you have this natural pathway to the tech of storms, which is your alternative splash damage to Reaver. So you can kind of bank up on High Templar energy and just go whenever Storm is researched. And I think the Storm has been researched, right?
Yeah. So we're going to have 3 Storms here, basically. But, like, they have to go down this ramp. It's going to be really hard. Like, I do not envy, like, either player in this situation, honestly. Because, like, this is going to be really stressful. Especially because I think the shuttle for Mr. Wizard went down somehow. So it's going to be a lot harder to get this Reaver out of Storms if it does get hit by one.
Yeah. Protoss gets a lot of hate, especially from Terran players. But I've played Protoss a couple of times myself, and Dragoon pathing is messed up, dude.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
And this is exactly what we're both fearful of. Like, ramps are the natural enemy of the Dragoon. Yeah. No siege tanks, no vulture mines, but these ramps are killing the Protoss. Oh yeah, that's a big
like 5 goons, but none of the goons go down yet, so they are still going to be dealing their full DPS as units try to go down this ramp. Like those goons are like trying to get in the storm. Did you see that? They're like trying to fit. Yeah. Oh my god, that was a huge storm, but it's just so hard to get down this ramp, especially when these Templars stand there. God, so annoying, and the Reaver is still in the back dealing tons of damage.
Yeah.
And like, if Jojo wins this fight, like, he's not going to win the game. He's struggling to get his natural back at 12 minutes into this game, right? Like, this is Jojo fighting to survive, not to win the game. It's not good for him that it's going this hard.
And as you can see, the Dragoons are doing their little waddle. They're doing their dance. And this dance is called Let's Bounce Into Each Other for about 10 minutes. Mr. Wizard has his observer positioned there, and this is just a meat grinder. This is not a pretty sight, but Jojo has very little options. He has to break this contain somehow, some way. The units are glitching out again, and they're trickling in one by one. And hopefully he can take out these Reavers as well.
One Reaver does go down. The second one is getting focused here. Well, it gets picked up at the last
barely
second.
got saved.
But the shuttle is getting focused down too.
Oh, great storm! Great storm!
Here. Oh, but it's just barely enough for Mr. Wizard to hold on to this contain. And like, JoJo has 5 gateways, but no money to make out of them. So that is going to mean that Mr. Wizard is going to tie up the series.
Yeah, there was a beautiful back and forth between these two great Protoss players. I really enjoyed that myself as a Terran player. So, yeah, well played on both sides there.
All right, game 3 is up. In the bottom left of Fighting Spirit is the teal Protoss, Mr. Wizard. And in the top left, it's the blue Protoss, JoJo. And in chat, Borexelian, I think, says that this is very different from StarCraft 2 PvP, and that is absolutely correct. I don't remember what PvP is like in the current expansion. It's like Immortals, right? It's like you make a bunch of Immortals. I remember from Wings of Liberty, it was all about like a Korean 48 where you just try to get a pylon in the enemy base and then make 4 cells at a time, and then it turned into like a regular 48 and just to make like a million billion stalkers. But in this game that we have here, this is like a super early probe scout from JoJo, so I can only assume it's like meant to do some kind of cheese, but they didn't go to the middle. They like just blind hope that Mr. Wizard was here, I guess, and I just don't get it. Like, I feel like they could be paying a lot for the 25% chance that they happen to pick where Mr. Wizard is.
Yeah, I think JoJo had some cheeky ideas of planting a proxy gate somewhere.
Well, you might still see that in the middle. I mean, they got to do something. They got plenty. They're sitting on all this money. Are they trying to do like a horror gate or something? I don't know. Like trying to proxy in Mr. Wizard's base. By the way, we do have JoJo in the chat saying walking down a ramp versus a contain is something of nightmares, and I could not agree more. We do see this proxy go down. It's just, it's so late. Like, the gateway for Mr. Wizard is like halfway done. And, oh my god,
yes.
Like, it's even worse. Mr. Wizard is going to get the first scout. See a completely empty base and just immediately panic and know that we have some kind of proxy here.
Yeah. And this is basically, you know, the way you approach this. When cheese fails, you just double down on your cheese and just, you know, go into that mind game of, well, I defended one cheese. He's surely not going to cheese me again. And then you get cheesed again, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's the idea I think that JoJo is going for. I mean, yeah, 2 gates worth of production is always more than 1 gate production. So in a sense, JoJo can still overpower the Protoss here. But I'm seeing a safety gateway being put up because of the scout that Mr. Wizard just did. And this is just a great reaction to the cheese that's been happening right now. Yeah, and like, you know, I hope he can defend this.
Okay, we do have the cheese transition into more cheese coming up here. So like with a 2-gate, like if the 2-gate proxy doesn't win, you can oh god, no, we're seeing the cannon rush behind the mineral line of Mr. Wizard. Now I know why he requested that we cast these games. Holy shit. Oh, and we see it though. We see the reason why you don't really cannon rush in this game. The probes get glitched behind and they kill the probe of JoJo. What a god. This is why Mr. Wizard's in tier 0, I guess. That's pretty sick. Like, so that's really why you don't cannon rush that much in this game. If like once people know how to do that, you can shut it down. But we still do have the proxy zealots to deal with here. But I think Mr. Wizard is going to be fine. But like the thing about proxy 2-gate is like it's never over. Like you can just start like trying to contain them in their main by building cannons. You can just proxy 2 more gateways and be like proxying 4 gateway zealot, and like Mr. Wizard thought that he could go challenge his opponent, but instead JoJo's just gonna run into his main and try to kill probes here. Yeah, we got
and this is kind of the part. This is kind of the part where you think the cheese is over now. The cheese is over now.
It never
the cheese
stops.
is over now, and it never stops. It's an endless stream of zealots. This usually happens to me on the ladder as well, where I think I defended a proxy gateway, you know, with the zealot walking at me, but then the zealots they don't stop coming. They don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Yeah. But I think the numbers are just slightly better for Wizard. It's funny because both players are actually on the same probe count right now. But JoJo has wasted a bunch of money on these cannons, on the forge, on those pylons that got canceled. So Mr. Wizard just has been able to put way more money into their army and tech here, and he's even getting goons. So the age of zealots is going to come to an end soon.
Yeah, and it always makes me think of the AI build that the computer does
Yes.
whenever you play against it.
Yeah.
Just endless streams of zealots, or like a whole control group of zealots walking at you at around 6 minutes or something. So yeah, as you said, the first couple of dragoons are out, and that kind of puts a timer on the zealots, unless they get surrounded by the zealots.
Unless it gets surrounded. We have a probe here from JoJo. I assume he's going to build cannons or something, but there's just way more zealots. Or no, there's more zealots for JoJo for now, and this goon is not being microed. There we go. Yeah, I think the Wizard's barely going to win this fight, but actually, like, that went way better for JoJo than I would have expected.
That was close, yeah.
But
and now the 4 dragoons are out.
Keeping the goons alive is huge because like it really snowballs. With this one goon trying to sneak off to the base.
And we're seeing great micro here, trying to pull away the wounded dragoons here.
Oh, it does get popped. And this is going to start to get hard here.
Hold position the ramp.
Yeah. We do have 2 more reinforcing. Oh, the goon from Mr. Wizard and the natural of JoJo just stop that on Nexus from being placed.
Yeah, that's such a great presence of mind to split off 1 dragoon to absolutely deny the natural, because you know, while you're being flooded with 2 gate zealots, the Protoss can just get a natural up, and you kind of don't want to let them get away with that. We're seeing a nice micro battle happening here in the middle on the hill. 2 very wounded dragoons, and he gets swiped by the top zealot, and now we're seeing a reinforcement of the 4 dragoons. I don't think the zealots are being microed here, but that's kind of the intention here as well. JoJo is just throwing zealots at him, just so those dragoons won't come knocking at his front door, because there's nothing to defend there. And you know, this is really good. The probe was getting in on some action there. The dragoon almost got killed by a probe. That would have been hilarious. And as we were talking, like, the end of zealots is near. The timing window has passed, and there's just way too many dragoons here. So Mr. Wizard went to the 6 o'clock, thinking that the proxy was here, but it's actually at the natural. And JoJo is still pulling some zealots, because once Mr. Wizard moves out, the dragoons are just gonna backstab. Oh no, Mr. Wizard scouts it, and I think this is gonna put an end to this endless stream of zealots. Great surround here, or I guess sandwich from the top. Great hold position micro as well. He loses a dragoon on the top there. and that's just yeah,
And
almost the whole control group against the single zealot.
yeah, these goons, they're just piling up. Like, they're taking some losses in each fight, but not nearly as many goons are dying as zealots. And it seems like Mr. Wizard probably has sniffed out where these gateways are. He still knows, like, roughly what's going on in the main of his opponent. Like, the gas only recently finished. Looks like we're getting a Citadel. So Jojo's going to try to go for DTs again, or maybe even Speed Zealots. But Mr. Wizard has gotten his own forge. He's going to start getting cannons. He's not going to be vulnerable to that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Mr. Wizard's dragoons are still trying to find the proxy gates. Where the hell are these these zealots trickling in?
Like, if you look at the vision
to find them.
of Mr. Wizard, there's just this like conspicuous black blob where the proxy is. He's checked everywhere else.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious, but it's really common to actually happen to anyone. Really, it's just that one spot that you didn't scout where the proxy is, and it looks
really
like the zealots are gonna hug these dragoons. And as we talked about earlier, the ramp is the arch nemesis of the dragoon.
Yes.
But this ramp doesn't seem to have much of an issue of allowing these dragoons to walk up. And
this is starting to look pretty ugly for the goons. Like, they're kind of running out of space, or like trapping themselves on the ramp. And there's a lot of zealots here, and they're even getting a speed upgrade. Like, it seems like it's a really huge mistake to go up this ramp.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was the kill button, but surprisingly the zealots are really tanky, and when they get close they deal a lot of damage, because if you look at the side blades they deal 16 damage. So and once they got like a good surface on the dragoons, all of these swipes really count up. They add up to the total damage.
The speed upgrade is done. There's only one cannon here. There's a decent amount of goons, but are they going to be able to deal with these zealots? The ramp is going to try to funnel them in here. The probes are coming to fight. This is the last thing that JoJo can do in the game, I think, but it's going pretty well.
The zealots are running in with their speed upgrades. They're hugging the dragoons here, but it's a choke point, and they really don't get the surface area that they really want. And it looked like if you have to put this in context, it looks kind of like a speedling bust, against the Protoss, and it functioned exactly like that. But the ramp is just too strong. The zealots just do not get the surface, like the contact of the side blades. And that kind of gets helped there by Mr. Wizard. That's some great hold position on the ramp there. And Jojo is not, giving up anytime soon.
We're back.
He's trying to hug them from going up the ramp. Really nice surround.
It's looking really good for these zealots. The probes are kind of slow to react this time, but honestly, they aren't even that great against SP zealots. Oh my god, actually all of the goons are dead. It's just zealots versus probes. Look at how red these zealots are. Actually, the probes do kill one of the zealots. We do have a Reaver in this shuttle, but I don't think he can do enough. We're going to see more waves of zealot show up. A big scarab, though.
Those are some great scarab hits, but Mr. Wizard is trying to micro his heart out, but Jojo is purposefully splitting the zealots here.
Yeah.
So every scarab has to hit like a single zealot, which is not the ideal situation. You want them to have, to be clumped up, but Mr. Wizard is seeing that his natural is about to fall here, and that's not what you want to have happen here. He's making a probe out of the natural, but the natural is no longer here.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's having a tough time trying to defend his main here with these zealots that just, split off and went to the natural here, to the main, sorry. and the zealots are still trickling in here.
They just don't stop.
Jojo is, not planning to stop anytime soon, and the damage output of these dragoons and Reaver is just too slow. Like they just survive, and they're being tucked away here in the corner. So if
We even have
Mr. Wizard doesn't
DTs.
take care of them, they can just backstab them.
Yeah, and we even have these DTs here. We do have one observer, but it's just another thing for Mr. Wizard to multitask. But honestly, like, being down to 10 probes, being down to 1 base, Jojo is getting their expansion. Like, this is really brutal for Mr. Wizard. He is managing to start cleaning up these zealots in the corner of his base here. But
A really nice defense. And this is kind of I think we've all been in this position where an opponent relentlessly drops stuff on you. It's like a proxy zealot opening in the beginning, and then a whole control group of speed zealots happen, and after that a follow-up of some DTs happen, and every time you kind of have to answer with the correct tech and with the correct amount of army, otherwise you're done. And Mr. Wizard here is trying to get some autonomy back and some counter damage here, and as we can see, his Reaver drop is taking care of that cannon there, and we yet have to see some really heavy probe hits, but Jojo with the presence of mind just retreating into his natural. Mr. Wizard still microing his heart out here. Oh, and he just got a big juicy hit off there. I think that was a bunch of clumped up probes there. Once the Reaver is done building scarabs, I'm gonna check the kill count on it. But it's not gonna look pretty for Jojo here.
Jojo is trying to force their way up the ramp now, and there's just not that much left for Mr. Wizard, given how hurt his economy has been. There is a second Reaver trying its best to shoot these units here, but, well, okay. I think Mr. Wizard might actually hold this wave, but he's still not in a great position.
Wow, yeah,
Oh
as
God,
you
there's
can
still a
see,
DT.
great splash damage from the Reaver, but that just leaves the mineral line exposed, and any probe kill is a good probe kill because Mr. Wizard is on 1 base and Jojo is on 2. So with every minute that passes, Jojo is gonna get more ahead, and I think the drop got shut down as well. The Reaver drop
Yeah,
from
it did.
from Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, and it had 13 kills
Nice.
before it went down.
Yeah. So Jojo is on 21 probes and Mr. Wizard is on 14. He's desperately trying to get his natural up, but I think in this position, with enough Reaver splash damage, he can hold this and actually defend it. And it's really it's really amazing that the proxy gates of Jojo are still getting some return on investment here. He's still pumping zealots from there. He has a High Templar which almost has full energy. So that's quite insane that he's getting so much value out of that.
So we have one more big wave here from Jojo. Like, Mr. Wizard is in this really strong defensive position here on the ramp, but isn't gonna be enough, especially like when we have the storm to punish being clumped up here. Like, I don't know if Mr. Wizard can hold on to this.
Yeah, I think Jojo threw everything and the kitchen sink at Mr. Wizard, and this might just break the camel's back. He has a really good spread, so the storm isn't going to do that much damage, but the storm is happening regardless, and those dragoons are clumped up. I think Jojo has another storm saved up in that High Templar, and yeah, unfortunately, the natural falls again, and a great storm on the ramp, and that's just too much for Mr. Wizard here.
Yeah, that was a very intense series there. But it is going to bring it 2-0 in favor of Fear Factory. I did see Mr. Wizard in chat saying that he thought that the loss was because of not being able to find the proxy, and like I think that was a bad for him, but I think that that attack when all the goons went up the ramp and got killed by zealots, that was what did it. Because like if all those goons had been alive in the natural when the speed zealot attack showed up, I think that Mr. Wizard would have cleaned that up pretty well. Like with a higher goon count and the Reaver.
Yeah, excellent game by those two players, and it was it was really back and forth, as commented in the chat, and it looked like a tower defense game at some point because you know the foot wasn't coming off the gas pedal anytime soon, and still a great effort in defending, but you know you just realize that it's an RTS. It's still a numbers game, and if you keep throwing enough, units at the opponent, at some point he's going to crumble.
That is going to take us into our next series here. It's going to be Erob versus Pandor. So we're going to get into that. And while we do load that up, I'm going to say thank you to Aborix Alien for giving me a follow. I appreciate it. And here we go in the top left, because who didn't want more Protoss? It's going to be the white Protoss Erob, and in the bottom left, the green Terran Pandor. So finally, we do have a Terran in one of these games.
Finally, a Terran, so I can truly cast, I guess. As if I've not been casting the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have a lot more matchup knowledge in terms of TVX matchups. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a great game here. But, we're going to see that Erob is actually the Protoss here. So, despite me being a Terran, I'm kind of rooting for my teammate Erob here. Totally not a biased cast, by the way. But we're gonna see how the matchup is going to pan out. It looks like that the Terran is just doing the standard build so far, just making SCVs, and I'm not seeing any SCVs being sent out really early. And so does the Protoss. The Protoss is just doing the good old standard build. It's a 4-player map as well, so we tend to see a bit more macro-oriented build orders coming out. That's not necessarily always the case, but 4-player maps kind of tend to go into these macro games, and you can kind of eke out more of an advantage when you go for a macro build. Because the distance is just so huge. By the time the cheese actually hits you, you bought yourself a lot of time to actually counter the cheese that's heading your way. And we're seeing a really nice scout from Pandor here. I think it was a 12 scout. And yeah, and that's like a really early scout. I scout kind of late. Because I'm greedy in that way. And he's just going for a really nice end scout, as it's called. So you first scout the base that's closest to you, and then you scout diagonally in the hopes that you see the probe coming from another side of the, from another side, and then you know where the probe is being coming from. And then you kind of scout like that. And Erob It's looking like, he's gonna get the vision up here. He saw the SCV. He's seeing 2 Marines on the ramp. He's still seeing two Marines and the third Marine being made. But I guess the one SCV in the gas is gonna give him some peace of mind that it's not a crazy 2-fact or anything. He's trying to eke out. He's gonna make those Marines walk for it. But he actually gathered all the intelligence that he needs. He saw the 3, Marines being built. One SCV on gas, and after Pandor put up the command center, he puts the SCVs back on gas. So this is looking quite standard from the side of Terran, and he's keeping the Dragoon busy here, so he can slightly delay his bunker a bit. So that's just really, heads up play from Pandor here. And as we can see from the Protoss side, we have a Dragoon blocking the ramp. We have another Dragoon blocking any kind of scouting. Being, out on the map, just scouting for SCVs that he can just pick off. Somehow, Pandor managed to get an SCV out through the 3rd, and he's gonna confirm the Nexus here.
You could never stop it. There's always another SCV covered.
Yeah, these SCVs are covered in premium butter. They just slip by somewhere somehow, and he gets a really nice confirm off. I think the timing is about like 420, right? Like if you see a Nexus being built before or at 420, you're kind of safe. It's just the Dragoon expand. Range Dragoon expand.
The 420 is like the latest that it'll be some kind of normal build. If it's after that, it's some kind of one base tech.
Exactly.
But like the most conventional, like 21 or 23 Nexus, we'll get it around like 330 or something like that.
Yeah. And we're seeing great heads-up play by Irop here, making an observatory in the wall and a pylon, and putting his 2 Dragoons on hold position here for possible any vulture run-bys or anything. He sees a tank, but that doesn't really say much. I think it's at this point you kind of have to deduct as a Protoss, like what might be happening, right? Like, is there going to be a 3-tank move out, or is it going to be a 2-fact vulture follow up? Like, there's a lot of ambiguity still before the observer actually reaches the Terran base, right?
Yeah. It's one of the things that I really struggle with, is like trying to figure out what the Terran is doing in this period of the game, because like you can see so little of their base as a Protoss. Like right now, you can't see anything, but even if it did poke forward, you might see like 1 or 2 of these tanks. So it's definitely something that I have a lot of trouble with. But we do have this observer that is just now popping from the robo. It's gonna head down there right away. It's gonna hit the Terran base at that critical like 7-minute time window to see where the Terran build is going to go. And I think it is going to be a tank move out here,
Yeah, and I think the Dragoon could have, seen the flashing barracks here, but oh no, the Dragoon falls here, and this is a really, really strong move out from Pandor.
Yeah.
And the observer is scouting, but it's too little, too late. The Terran is already moving, and the idea is that you kind of meet the Terran halfway on the map. That's what Irop is trying to do. He's moving out on the map. He's trying to get some pot shots off at the moving Terran army, but there's a lot of buffering going on. There are some mines being put down, and the Dragoons can't get in on these tanks. The tanks are just being protected by these vulture mines, and that's basically Pandor just moonwalking in here. Pandor has to really just protect his tanks here, but Irop is going for a great surround. The Dragoons are trying to pick off the tanks. That's 1 tank down. He's focus firing another, and he's retreating with hold position micro. Any type of damage that you're getting off is, good damage. He's trying to keep his Dragoon alive, but one falls. He's focus firing the tank again, and I think this pretty much cleans it up. But I think it has been quite an equal trade here on both sides.
Yeah, I did not think that Protoss was going to hold that off for a while. It seemed like they were going to lose like half their goons and then lose the next half separately. But they did manage to take out all of the tanks and keep their third base alive. But losing like the whole army, I think, has triggered Pandora to add 2 more factories. And like I wouldn't. Oh no. Okay, so it's 2 more factories and then into a CC. I thought we might see like a 5 or 6 fact. But it's the 4 factories is not small either, so we are going to see Pandora continue to power up here and get their own third base, trying to put some pressure on the pylon wall, but the goons are here. And we have, look at these really nicely placed goons on the bridge at the natural. Like, this is a really nice touch, because like I would just mash them in the natural wall, and then that will let the vultures run by and get into the third. But like, yes. I really like this from Europe. It's a good way to not lose all your probes.
Yeah, that's some heads up play by Europe. Really nice play here. And yeah, the Dragoons keep on piling, and the general idea of the early game TVP matchup is that the Europe just walks into a missile turret with his observer, but he does get the intel off of the third CC. The idea of like early game TVP, I guess, is that you kind of have to match the factory count with your gateways, and when you take your third or your fourth as Protoss, you kind of have to double that count. Like if Terran is on 10 factories, you have to be on 20 gateways to kind of match that. Those are, from what I know, the magic numbers. And as you said, the moment
anyway,
move away, the vultures are running rampant here, and a vulture mine is being planted, and luckily he moves it away from the probes.
Yeah. And
that's still some solid damage. And as you can see, Erob is behind on a couple of workers.
Yeah, Pandora has really been playing like perfectly. Once that push was over, like getting their third base set up here, getting a lot of pro damage. Like he has this vulture here in the top right to stop the fourth base when it goes down.
Yeah.
So this is looking pretty good for Terran. And there we go. We do have the third command center flying over. Just a little high ground pod. Look at how many things are in the production queue right now. There's so much macro going on, like buildings and tech and units. Like.
Yeah, this is looking to be a really nice TVP here. And Pandora has been really proactive with these 8 vultures. But so has Erob. Like Erob is moving out with his Dragoons. And he's just trying to bulldog this, and it looks like he's going to bust the supply depot here so he can get some way of walking into this third here. And he actually gets in, and this is huge. This is a lot of damage. Like, and it looks like the CC is being target fired here. Pandora really needs to repair that, otherwise all this early game damage is going to be for nothing.
Oh my god!
And it seems like
down.
The command center is about to go down. That's such a huge pickoff from Erob, and this is also a great heads-up play by Pandora. Pandora is trying to mine the retreat path of the Dragoons, and that's kind of gonna keep those Dragoons busy from actually going into the Terran base any further. So that was kind of a really nice heads-up play by Erob, and Pandora immediately is going to be scouting the fourth here, which is a really crucial expansion for the Protoss. This leads to many tech possibilities like arbiters and carriers, and he kind of denied it, but the Nexus was just built a little bit closer. So the Protoss fourth has been being planted, and um, yeah, this is basically the point in the game where we should be seeing a dedicated tech from Protoss, and which is the Arbiter tech. We haven't seen an Arbiter being produced here though. But we can see that yeah, Arbiter is the choice of tech here. The Terran is still on 5 factories here, which is only logical because he got his third denied. The Protoss is moving out on the map again, trying to play Minesweeper here, and which is really crucial. It denies any type of free damage, from a straggling goon, and it also denies the Terran from vision. So this is some great heads-up play from Europe. He cleaned up the map, but Pandor just has laid a fresh set of vulture mines on the complete right side of the map, and he's just powering up once his third is online again.
Yeah, that Arbiter is finally on the way. This is actually pretty late for Europe. It can be like several minutes earlier, and Pandora is getting close to like that 150 to 200 range where Terran can push out with like a really scary push. But now that Irab is taking both of these bases, kind of before the 15-minute mark, they're gonna start to get in that like really scary late game status in Protoss. But never mind though, all these probes getting caught in the transfer,
no.
even some mines killing some. It's super brutal. I'm just gonna keep like both players just keep like setting each other back like 1 to 3 minutes with each of these little moves that they're doing.
It's an absolute slugfest, and they're both playing excellently here. Pandor just planted the vultures there in between the main and the fourth, and yeah, just really had some play. And even the mines got some probe kills as well because the army was just walking over them. And we're moving to this part where yeah, the Terran has his 3 base consolidated, but he needs a fourth, and this is kind of a tricky fourth to be at because the Protoss can attack from both sides, which looks like the Protoss is gonna go for. The Protoss has stasis researched here before recall, but yeah, once again, great heads-up play from the Terran. There are, science. There is a science facility. There is a starport producing science vessels, and has sufficient energy for an EMP. And that's basically. Ooh, this is a meat grinder for the Zealots.
Yeah, so many Zealots are going to go down. We're going to see a 6 stasis here. Oh, a pretty decent stasis in the back, but all the Zealots are dead already. The Protoss army was like too spread out, I think. They didn't really come in at the same time. But it's not really like a huge loss for either player. It's pretty easy to replenish those Zealots and Vultures.
Yeah, it's just great play by both players. Europe purposefully stasis the back line of the tanks, because if you stasis the front line, that's just going to help the Terran even more. It will mess up your pathing. Your Zealots are going to be glitching all over the place. So that's a really good move to do. You have to stasis the back lines of the tanks. And that's also a kind of a thing to do as a Protoss. You kind of have to have a really good cadence of units going in. You have to group your Zealots, group your Dragoons, and attack all at once, kind of. You have to stagger them so they all hit at the same time. We're seeing some really good Vulture plays again from Pandor.
Yeah.
He's getting just so much value out of these Vultures.
I just want to say I got rated by Terror, which is pretty cool. Hello, everybody. We are
nice.
casting some CPL games here. It's sort of like a amateur a learning league here, so it's super cool to have everybody here. And thanks for following SC Bane.
Yeah, thanks for the raid, Terror.
Yeah, pretty hype.
Yeah, really talentful Terran. You guys should check him out as well. But we're seeing here Pandor again getting insane value with these vultures. There's this dance happening with the science
huge
special.
Stasis.
Oh no!
My God, it's like 6 tanks back there, but lots of pot shots down on this Protoss army. He's down like 30 supply right now, even with that Stasis. Trying to get some drops off, but decides not to. Oh my God, this looks like one of my replays. I'm so bad at engaging these giant Terran armies.
Yeah, I think what happened there is that when you move your shuttles in, any type of anti-air that hits them kind of overwrites the command of unloading, and then they just move kind of back. So Europe is getting a bit constricted here, and you can tell from the supply, Pandor is just sitting at the solid 190, and Europe is just sitting at 122. And this is kind of the part where it all crumbles.
Big storm though. Like these are some amazing storms on these tanks, but even so, there's still like 5 tanks set up. You have the a classic 2 tanks going up to the 3rd base here, and the Protoss player is just now trying to add gateways at their 5th base, so they don't have that like 2 front wave of reinforcements to come in. So this is really grim for Protoss.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to break out of your own main now. But God,
a
storms from the
great
cliff.
Storm there.
It's so good.
And another great storm. This is insane. Is Europe gonna hold this? It looks like and a great stasis there.
Gets the science vessel.
Oh no, the last Goliath shot took care of that Arbiter.
Oh no.
That's gonna set Europe back by a lot.
Oh god, we have probes killing a tank at the 3rd phase. That's amazing. But we also have a few tanks and vultures that are threatening the right side of the map, so Pandor is not giving the Protoss any room to come back into this game.
Yeah, and usually what might be a possible chance of Protoss coming back in this game is that you kind of remake your gateways on the other side of the map, and by the time Pandor's initial push runs out of steam, you kind of, pincer him from another side with all the gateways that you built on the other side. But it looks like Pandor kind of caught him by surprise before all of the gateway and infrastructure was up. He pulled the trigger really quick, and it looks like the reinforcements are just going to melt as they come in. And this is looking, as you can see on the minimap, it's looking more and more green as opposed to white. So that kind of goes to show who's in the lead here. And there's the GG from Europe.
Pandor, like it was like a really close, back and forth game for a long time, and then Pandor just like powered up and smashed the Protoss.
Yeah, that was a great game. And a lot of small optimizations of like really nice vulture play, and then a counter play of sweeping the vulture mines, and trying to get like bulldog going on. A lot of back and forth, as you said, and all these players really employed really nice tactics. So I'm looking forward to this next game.
Yeah, let's get into
it. So I'm looking forward to this.
Echo, hold on. Okay, there we go. My stream audio started playing. Turn that off. All right, here we go. Back on Polaris Rhapsody in the if I screwed up the overlays. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Very pro casting here. Anyway, in the top left, we have the pink Protoss Europe, and in the bottom right, the victorious red Terran Pandor. So I don't think I've played PvT on this map. Maybe like once, but what do you think about it for this matchup? Like, I feel like the choke points are going to make it really hard for both players to get big armies around the map.
Yeah. Yeah, like from the first cast that we did together, there is really not a really nice logical third here that that I'd like to take as a Terran. And as I said, in the TVP matchup, you need that third gas to really get that 2-1 timing attack going. And this map kinda, doesn't have a logical third. Like, you either take the whole bottom side from Pandor's perspective, and that just has the closest expansion that's like exactly at 6 o'clock, and that just has minerals. So it's safer to expand there, but you're only getting minerals out of that, and that's great if you're going for like a Vulture heavy build, but it really doesn't help with these 2-1 like upgrade heavy type of builds. And the other alternative is that you expand to the top, but that just leaves you more scattered, right?
Yeah,
like you have
so
to
far
defend
away.
more places. Yeah. So it's really it also being a 2-player map, right? So the Terran is in constant fear of his life, of his gas being stolen. And after you've defended the proxy 2 gate, with your gas being stolen, you try to expand, and then a whole lot of Protoss stuff happens of DTs or Reavers and whatnot. And after you've stabilized, you have no logical third to go to. So I'm really curious how Pandor is going to solve this problem. And it being a 2-player map, so it's really it's quite obvious to me that the Protoss should always go for a cheeky gas steal, because it just sets back the Terran so much.
I've started to do that on Eclipse, try to get the gas steal
right
off, and it feels so good when you do get it up. And the best is when you put down a second gas right when they kill the first one.
Oh yeah.
That's so obnoxious.
Yeah, and what I've noticed in this map, as you can see, like the SCV is just walking past some ledges there. That's basically the gas third of the Protoss, but it's tucked away in like a corner, and it has like a mineral only in front of it. But what I was meant to say is that you're seeing a lot of choke points, a lot of ledges, a lot of hills, a lot of high ground, which is kind of a logical map layout for carriers, actually.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Protoss and you're playing as a Terran on this map, by all means go for carriers, because it's impossible to get any ground army across any of these ramps, and you can just easily, float across a ledge and completely blindside the Terran army. So that's kind of that's also like a constant threat looming above the Terran player of carriers on this map. They're really, really strong, and because of the choke points here, you kind of can only get like a really good entry on where the Dragoon is walking now, chasing the SCV. Like, you could easily like rally on that hill there and kind of kill the Protoss third, I guess, the mineral only third, or you go through the other side that we just discussed with the mineral only and the tucked away gas base. Those are the two entrances, because the bridge in the middle, you are not going to pass that anytime soon.
Oh yeah, forget about that. I'm trying to imagine getting throwing tanks across that. Like,
yeah, yeah.
no, they just
That's
bounce off each
impossible.
other forever.
Yeah. In terms of build orders, we can see that Pandor is just going for a really calm, cool, collected one fact expand with an academy. Europe is quickly face checking that expansion just to confirm it. And yeah, Europe might be kind of in the mindset of the last game.
Yeah, definitely getting these 3 gateways. Like, definitely worried about a big tank push happening again.
Yeah.
Although
yeah.
I don't think that it would be a good choice from Terran to do that on this map because of what we talked about. Because of how long it is and because of the bridges. And that's probably why Pandora didn't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm seeing more of a defensive posture here from Pandor, which might lead to the 6-minute 36 minute or 7 minutes reaver drop timing. So he's kind of posturing in a defensive way, and his armory is going to be done. And yeah, +1 straight away. So this looks like an upgrade type of playstyle, up Terran as the Koreans like to call it. Quick +1, and then you follow it up with +2 +1, and then yeah, you just really power on 2 bases, take your third, and kind of go for like a 180 supply move out, and it's really hard for the Protoss to hold that without any kind of tech that kind of counters it, or you have to trade really favorably with pure gateway. We'll just see how Europe's going to deal with this. For now, we're just seeing 3 gate obs and a quick third as well. We're not seeing any vultures out on the map like the previous time. Irob is just face checking for any type of siege tech. He didn't see any siege tech, which from a Protoss perspective leads you to believe that there is some kind of drop tech happening, because Terrans love to skip tech like to skip the siege tank tech if it's possible. So that might kind of trigger the Protoss of defending against the drop. But here we see that it's just the Goliath defense against the possible Reaver drop. So this is basically a build that kind of Flash popularized.
Yeah.
You get your 4 Goliaths, which is the critical number to 2-shot a shuttle. And even if a shuttle isn't coming, you're still gonna get a lot of value out of it by scanning the observers and denying Europe here the critical vision. And just as the vision dissipates, he plants down an additional factory. And as we said earlier, he's going for the upgrade Terran. The science facility is done, which means Pandora is just going to go straight into +2 attack and +1 armor here. And we still see no signs of a third, which leads me to believe that Pandora has the same thoughts of that I'm having on this map. Even if I wanted to take a third, where do I even take it? And Pandora is just making a nice turret ring here, and I guess this kinda is a tell of a Terran trying to go for a 2-base all-in, maybe, because no sane Terran would plant those amounts of turrets pre 9 minutes, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I feel like Irab probably knows that it's some kind of 2-base build. I mean, they have these observers around. They're getting a bunch of gateways. Like, I think they know what's coming, and it looks like they're also going to try to sneak the space in the top right.
Yeah. I think Irob knows indeed, and there's this kind of matchup specific thing that always happens in TVP games. The Protoss usually either greets heavily and then maxes out, or maxes out on 3 base and then goes for the greet.
Yeah.
And against the 2 base push from Pandor here, the ideal move is to actually just make as much units as possible. But Irob is actually going to, really outgreed it, and he's going for all the upgrades at the same time. He's kind of matching the upgrades from the Terran as well. Legs are going to be done any moment now, and I'm seeing that the factory count is being matched as well. And as we said, like, usually you want to have twice the gateway count of the factories, and I'm seeing that happening here. And yeah, the Arbiter is going to be the choice of Irob again, which gets instantly scouted by Pandor. Really heads up play here. And Pandor has been denying the pocket third here from Irob with a Vulture and a Mine there. And we just saw Vultures a couple of minutes ago being really aggressive on the top right expansion. You can see that there's been some shield damage on the Nexus, but Irob is trying to secure that with, by putting up some cannons there. And yeah, the Terran is just powering up on 2 base here, and we're nearing that 160 supply, which is usually the move out. You get about 1 full control group of tanks, 2 control groups of Vultures, and 1 control group of 4 Goliaths. And this is basically the move out, and you kind of keep reinforcing this move out. Some Dragoons are getting caught. Oh no, they're getting pathing so hard. They just moved in. They moved into the Terran army. That's the wrong way to be heading as a Dragoon. And this is kind of this is kind of the drop that the push that Irob needs to stall. You have to make the Terran siege up and load and siege up. And oh no, the siege, the shuttle is getting picked up by the Goliaths, and this is so crucial. This is so valuable of these Dragoons, of these Goliaths being added on early. Pandor is trying to sniff out the Arbiter on the back, but there is no Arbiter yet. The Arbiter is still at the rally point, and I think Irob is getting pushed into a tight corner here. Pandor is deciding to not go through that choke, which is a good decision.
Oh, the shuttle gets popped immediately.
Oh, the shuttle is being...
A Zealot bomb,
yeah. Oh, that's
my God,
huge
that
mine.
It's a huge mine hit, but it's just so awkward for both players to fight in this position. Oh, the Zealots try to get on top of the tanks here, but I think they all get cleaned up, and these goons are going to be under fire now. Yeah, these goons do have to back away from this big arc of tanks, but I think that should be good for Irob overall. Like, they still have all of these gateways. They've done some damage to the push. They have a base up in the top right, and the 3rd command center is just finished for Pandor.
Yeah, and Pandor took the mineral 3rd, which is an interesting decision, but Pandor is just pushing up through the tiny choke, but Irob is going through an even tinier choke through the bridge. You can
Storm
see
on the tanks.
Dragoons glitching out.
Yeah. Oh, this is looking really good for Terran now. Like, the Protoss army is really split up here. Oh my God, big storm though on 4 tanks. And a wave of Zealots shows up just in time to clear them out.
Yeah, once there's no Vultures to kind of protect the tanks, the zealots can get really good surface area on the tanks, and they just really just obliterate them. You can see the Terran is kind of stalling with vulture mines here for the tanks to kind of follow up. Pandor has replenished his Goliaths here, which is really nice. They kind of indirectly counter the Arbiter as well. And yeah, Pandor has no vision under the Arbiter, and the Zealots and the Dragoons are just getting pot shots off of it. And I think Irob has done it. Like the team is completely taken out of Pandor's push here, and this is kind of a problem which happens to like many Terrans. Imagine that you're facing a 4-base Protoss here, but the Protoss goes into carriers, and you do not have the gas to kind of go for the upgrades and to pump constant Goliaths, right?
Yeah,
so that kind of puts a checkmate on the Terran here, based on the amount of chokes and the amounts of ramps that are present on this map. But we're seeing that Pandor is trying to take advantage of these vultures again. He's running rampant. He's just planting mines everywhere, and I think he has his eye on the top right expansion here. And after a while, when the vultures have the +3 upgrade just finished, they can just decimate cannons. You can see a small group of vultures already killed two cannons here. And if the Dragoons didn't come, they would have even killed more there. So that's a great defense on Irob. But you can see Pandor is being so diligent with his vultures again, trying to mine the escape route of those Dragoons. Those Dragoons are running back, and they're gonna get caught in this mine path here. But I think Irob has had enough of this vulture harass.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to be pulling the trigger here. He's just gathering his forces across the bridge there, and you can see that there's approximately 3 to 4 control groups of zealots here from Irob.
Yeah, this is a big army here from Irob. It's almost maxed out, but Pandor himself is also getting close to that max number. And like, we've been talking about how it's hard to get a third, but where is Irob going to take their 5th base? Oh wait, he's
no,
at. We have a recall.
recall.
Hold on a minute. Big recall into the main here. The Terran army is kind of close by, and there's no stasis on the ramp or anything, but there's still lots of damage going down. It looks like the target is going to be the factories here. Trying to shut down the production of Terran.
Yeah, and a great heads-up play from Irob. Somehow managed to sneak in an Arbiter. And we're seeing that Pandor EMP'd the Arbiter, so luckily there was no stasis on the ramp. Otherwise this would have been, game-ending damage.
Yeah.
It's still getting a lot of value here with those 2 Dragoons.
Yeah, like, even the supply looks good for Europe, more so than it did before the recall went off. So that was a very nice play there. It looks like there was another wave of vultures being sent out. These goons caught it, or maybe the vultures caught the goons, because the vultures kill all of the goons here. And this base is under threat again. But what I was trying to talk about before the recall came up is, like, where is Irob going to take their 5th base? And actually, wow, a mineral only is a mined out. Like, Pandor is sitting on 4 bases now. Granted, 2 of them are almost mined out or completely mined out, but like, I don't know where the Protoss can take a 5th. Oh my god, there's more probes going up. These vultures are relentless. It never stops. Like,
man, I wish I could control these vultures like
I know,
Pandor.
It's wild, but like, all of the rest of the bases on the map have a mine or a vulture sitting there, right? Like,
yeah.
And like, we've been talking about how all the bases are really far away, like, it's gonna be hard to do.
Oh no, an Arbiter on the bottom left.
Uh-oh.
With full energy. Looks like he's going to recall right
on top of the
tanks.
army. we go. Gonna catch a bunch of the tanks here.
Great EMP though on the army.
Yeah,
An EMP takes half of the Protoss army's HP, which is a great value, especially when you're going upgrade Terran. The damage kind of compiles on top of each other.
We have
and
a
this
big
is
army
the
in
problem that
the
we were talking about earlier.
in the left side of the map where it's gonna walk into all these mines.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And this is the problem that we were talking about earlier. Like this expansion from the Terran is way too far away. Like how do you kind of? Ooh, that was a great mind drag.
I saw that.
Dragoon, the Zealot, unfortunately died before going there. And this expansion gets denied. Really great play from Irab, but Pandor needs to kind of find another base here because he's running out of fuel.
Oh, nice mind drag. 2 tanks go down to the mines.
Yes,
there.
That was nice.
Nice play there from Irab. So that does improve the base situation for a Protoss, and actually this third base of Terran is mining out really quickly. Like, do these mineral bases have less minerals than normal? I did not realize that they would mine out this fast because both players are just chewing right through them.
Yeah, it's really they're just burning through the resources, and it's looking like it's more of a more of attrition here because Protoss isn't looking that good economically either. So this is really just being base denial, and Irab just really picking off tanks here, which is immense value here, and still going for the tank snipes, but the mines are gonna connect here, and that's a lot of blue goo on the floor there, and they're really struggling to kind of end the game here because they're both hurting economically, that just puts more emphasis on the units. Like you have to either survive with your units or kind of make the trade worthwhile, but it looks like these trades don't look favorable for either side, but it's just a slugfest at this point.
Well, I feel like so the Protoss is basically on one mining base, like their main is literally about to mine out, and the Terran is on one mining base at their third, like trying to get this fourth back up. Like we're about to see people in a 23-minute game, one base or even less. Like, and I don't, we might not be able to see like maxed out armies anymore. People are going to be absolutely broke. Like if this command center in the bottom left can be denied.
Ooh, great spaces on the back here. Irab is priming the Terran army for a nice frontal
tanks
attack.
Again. These tanks are going down. There's not much left here for Terran to defend the space. The stasis just on the science vessel. Shut down. Actually, forget about the fourth base. The third base itself is here on A defense, and Pandor has to tap out. And we're gonna go to game 3 yet again.
GG's, really nice play by both parties here.
I like how Lightswarm, like 2 minutes ago, was like, Terran's in a great position here. And Terran immediately loses. Oh, it looks like my game is... Oh, my game crashed. Nice. I'll have to restart that.
Recalls OP.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was a really good play from both sides. Pandor really making those vultures pay dividend on them, and really just planting mines on the retreat path of the Dragoons. That's just some really nice play, and you actually just see those type of plays from really good Terrans. 1400 Terrans like me, they just move vultures and get mad when they don't get any probe kills, know. So
and like it was constant. It was all game. It wasn't just like one sick run by with the vultures. It was constantly all game. Just vultures killing probes, vultures laying mines, vultures killing cannons, like just unstoppable. Also, my game is not cooperating with me. It's not letting me log in. Small indie company. Am I right? This happened to me last week too. Like it like won't log me into my Battle.net account or something. Come on. So, what do you think we're gonna see in Game 3 here? Like, I mean, it's probably just gonna be another big macro game.
Well, I think yeah, Arab has been playing really well, both defensively and offensively. We've seen him going for the Arbiter tech into stasis. We've seen him go Arbiter tech into recall, and he managed to get a really nice recall off. I kind of want to see some cheeky D from Europe
Hell yeah.
or any Protoss really, because DTs are quite fun on from the Protoss side. Not so much on the Terran side when you try to cut corners and somehow you hear those DT swipes, and then you're like, yeah, good game. You're just done. But yeah, I'm really excited to see some more Vulture play from Pandor. Really nice plays from Pandor, and you can really see that he has a good understanding of how the Terran matchups works in TVP. Uh, Both going for a really nice upgrade style play, but also picking his timings. He knows when to pull the trigger, and especially on like a map as we discussed, like where the third is a bit of obnoxious, and without gas, and your fourth is even further away. You're kind of pigeonholed into either doing a really strong timing or kind of work around the problem, and I really like the solution that Pandor went for, which was a pretty much a two base 2-1 max out, and he kept upgrading. So at a certain point, he was at 3 attack and 2 armor. So that's just really nice plays from Pandor. He has a really good understanding of Terran, and also you kind of have to play the map right. As we talked about, that the third is really, that the third has no gas or is really further away, or you take the mineral only, and then your fourth is even further away. So that kind of forces you into a certain type of build. And
So real quick,
you
here's where I
managed to
am.
connect?
No, I can't. It won't let me log in. I'm going
Yeah.
to take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna come
Right.
back, and hopefully it will work. If it doesn't, I don't know. We'll figure out something to do. But
Right.
so
We'll take a 5-minute break then.
I'll be right back.
Right.
All right, well, I'm back. Let's see if BattleNet is back.
Welcome back, and
Let's see. I'm booting up the game. Seems functional. Let's see if we can actually get into my... All right, we're back in. We did it. It just needed a break. Get that game hosted. So I really didn't want to have to like stop right before game 3 of this series. Like, that was gonna be extra disappointing.
yeah. Did you rehost or?
I'm in the process.
Ah.
All right, here we go. It is up. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, it's up.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. All right, here in the top right of Fighting Spirit, the Pink Terran Pandor fighting for the team Attitude Plus. In the bottom left, the Green Protoss Europe fighting for Fear Factory.
Yeah, and it's on Fighting Spirit, which many people have dubbed this as Boring Spirit, you know, because you have really safe access to a nice third, especially as a Terran. That's it causes them to be more prone to those upgrade type of builds where you do a really nice two attack one armor timing and try to play whack-a-mole with all the Protoss expansions that are around. And on the flip side as well, Protoss is trying to make 30 gateways and take all the expansions that are available on the map and tech into carriers possibly. So hopefully we won't be seeing any of these, and hopefully we'll be seeing some DTs, because that's what I was kind of hoping for from Europe. So let's see how these build orders are gonna pan out.
Nothing too wild this far, and nothing being built in the middle of the map or anything like that. Still plenty of time to start some kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, and Pandora is being really diligent with his scouting, immediately sending a SCV out right as his barracks is, constructing. Usually, what most of the pros do, they scout at 14 supply or at 13 and a half. What is really important when you scout is that you kind of need to determine if the Protoss is doing a Nexus first, and if you have any type of timing window to actually punish the Nexus first. So that's why you can kind of delay or time your scout in such a manner that you can punish the Nexus first. You can usually do that by just pulling SCVs and not stopping the Marine production, offensive rally with the Marines and kind of try to bunker it. And you know how that goes. The Terran just gets a bunker up, and they either consolidate that position with a lot of vultures, or they kind of get like a siege tank contain going on with
so
like
much.
turrets and so on.
Turrets and stuff. Oh my god, it's the worst thing.
Yeah. And that just slowly turns into a meat grinder that you just cannot break. We can see that Irab is trying to get a scout off. Pandor is trying to deny the scout. Great micro here, but the probe is just too fast here. Pandor is really just confident with his Marine micro, because I've seen him go for the latest bunker possible. And the Terran SCV, as we spoke about it earlier, is just buttered up and just somehow gets the scout off. and he sees the core spinning, so that must have been a relief for the Terran. The Protoss here is just going to be blocking the ramp again, which he's been really diligently doing. And from the Terran side, I'm seeing the same build kind of come to fruition here. It's expand and then a double fact. Usually the Terran just builds exclusively tanks from this, but depending on what the Terran scouts, he might add in the Goliaths as we saw in the last game. We're seeing a one gate robotics here. Does this indicate any kind of reaver play, or is this standard?
It's standard. Like it could go into reaver, but we've seen this like every game, and I think I don't think we're seeing any DTs for drops. I think we're just seeing a boring old macro game again.
Why?
I know, right?
I just wanted to see some DTs, man.
Oh well. Looks like we'll just see like solid macro players, something lame like that, right?
Yeah, we're seeing the Dragoon just wailing away at the bunker here. And this is also a dance that we all have come to, become more familiar with. You have to time you have to put the exact amount of SCVs on repair, depending on the Dragoon count. So for one Dragoon, you have to have one SCV repairing. And Pandor's tank is out, which is going to scare away the Dragoon. And wow, Pandor just almost pulled the trigger there to move out with the Marines inside of it. But we're still seeing one Dragoon here at the front. And usually that's also like a telltale sign, right? Like when there's one or two Dragoons hitting the bunker, and then the Dragoons just stop coming. And you're like, well, this guy is doing some cheeky tech behind it, be it reaver drops or DTs or of some kind. But Pandor is actually pulling the trigger. He's going for the 3-tank push with vultures on the back of it. And as we can see, speed and mines are going to be done here soon. And the Europ's observer is moving across the map, but only the observer can only watch from this position. He's doing the correct move here. Europe is trying to catch the army out on the open.
Way in the front. He gets picked off.
That's a really good snag.
Yeah, trying to make
use. Any type of damage is really big here. Really great snipe on the mine there. He's still picking off.
Yeah, we have two more coming in the back here.
Oh, he's focusing the Dragoons from the front.
Just one tank
really
left.
Good micro here.
Yeah. Let's make it these last goons. Oh my god. One more hit on the tank. The third base is gonna be damaged here, but like I think like this push should be over. Like this 117 HP tank is not gonna win the game, but it is gonna do a lot of damage here to this third base as it tries to build.
Yeah, Europe is going for the 3 goons that are in production, but they take they take such a long time, especially when you're being 3 tank pushed here.
Yeah.
Every goon just matters so much. He has to take care of that pylon that he just put there.
Oh no!
To block any type of vulture run-bys, but it also prevents his goons from going out there. So
wow, the third base is gonna go down.
Oh, that's so unfortunate
Brutality
for Europe.
Yeah, and the third command center is halfway done, and this is like a really quick third for Terran to take. So this is just a win-win here for Pandor.
Yeah, exactly. That was just a really great executed push from Pandor. Europe also really heads up play there, trying to catch the Terran as he was moving out, but it was just too little, too late. You kind of need to catch them out in the open. Oh no, the vultures are trying to run by here. Pandor really being a menace here with the vultures. They are taking no days off. They're
Yeah.
always on duty here. Um, so that's just great play by Pandor here. Yeah, from the Protoss side, Warp Gates, what do you think that Europe needs to do to come back in this game?
Well, I don't know if I'm good enough to tell you what he needs to do, but it sure looks like he's going to Bulldog, right? We have 6 gateways, we have the Zealot speed, and we have a shuttle. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see some kind of bust here.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, that's pretty much the move that I would go for as well. You're behind, your third just got denied. I would pool all my resources into a big army and try to go for one big final push, so to speak. And I think Terran kind of knows that as well, because that's like a natural reaction in the RTS genre, right? Like, I have this one ticket to win the game, which is an all-in, and that just kind of makes it glaringly obvious that you're doing an all-in. So, as you can see, the Terran third is just there's a turret, there's a bunker. This looks exactly like the campaign, where all the siege tanks are lined up against the Zerg. So I see very little possibility of Irob actually breaking this. But you can never know. The Bulldog just might work here. And I think he's rallying all of his forces, but that just means Pandor's vultures are just going to go run rampant again. God, he's just so good with these vultures. I'm definitely taking notes on these type of Terran plays, but not to take any credit away from Europe. He's really been diligent about blocking his entrance, cleaning out the mines as he goes, and this is kind of the only part of Europe where he has some kind of timing, and the longer he waits, the tinier that window gets. So because he's third has SimCity, he has turrets, he has vultures going in, but Europe doesn't care about that. Europe is coming in, he has this shuttle ready, he's trying to drop really nice drop on top of the tanks. The Zealots are getting some really nice job done, but the tanks survive in the back line, and it looks like Pandor barely held on to it.
Yeah, it was really close. I mean, it's not even over yet, but like with each volley of tank hits, each mine, more goons are going to die. But these ones in the third, these tanks might actually have to move. And there's nothing in the bunker, so actually all of these goons are just going to run into the main. Who needs recall? You just walk in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, and they catch more tanks as they spawn. This is starting to look really good for Protoss.
Yeah, that's a typical thing on this map. Like, you either have to SimCity the pathway there, but this is a really nice heads up play by Europe. He chose the side where the siege tanks were the least, and he actually just walked straight up into the natural, and from the natural into the main. So Pandor is scrambling here to actually kind of defend this, because any type of reinforcement instantly gets sniped by these Dragoons, and he's trying to hold on for dear life with the sieged up siege tanks, but unfortunately that also bites the dust here with the reinforcement of the Zealots.
I think this might actually be checkmate. Like, I think Europe might have actually just done it. Pandor can't build an army.
Yeah, this is insane. Apparently, this just works.
Yeah, just walk into the main easy.
Just walk into the main, forehead.
Exactly. Yeah, these speed zealots, like in these small numbers, are just cleaning up these tanks, and these goons are here just killing everything as it pops. Factories are queuing desperately.
GG.
Wow, Pandor taps out.
Really nice series.
What a series! So it was not DTs, but it was still something aggressive there, and that's actually going to make it 3-0 for the Fear Factory right now.
man, Fear Factory is on fire.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because it's my team, but
Yeah.
the results speak for themselves.
Oh yeah, we got stomped this week in week 1. It was brutal. It was like 15-4 or something, wasn't it? It was like it was pretty harsh. But we still have 1 series left, so we can do that.
It's going to be 442 versus Saishi. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me join the lobby real quick.
I know that he's told me how to say his name before, but I always forget. So I guess we go with like Saichi or something like that, or Saich, or I whatever. The Protoss.
The Protoss.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way of putting it. And also, I'm seeing Diggity in the chat. Shout outs to Diggity, also a really nice caster in the community. Be sure to check him out and go ahead and introduce the players.
All right, here in the top right, the purple Protoss, who is probably called something like Saichi, and with the From Rush in the bottom left, the brown Zerg.
From
442. I like the From Rush. It's a
Cold Warp Gates. You know when someone types "from" with a question mark, he's gonna cheese you, right?
Yeah, of course.
100%.
But the best is to ask it like right when the lings are about to go in their base. So they're like typing like, "Oh, I'm from California" or something, and like that's exactly when the lings come in. That's when that's the pro From Rush.
That's the tech.
Yeah.
And you have to change the latency just as your links run in, right?
There you go. That's how you get those points.
Farm those free MMRs.
Yeah.
All right, but we're actually we went all the way back to a PVZ here.
Yeah.
So I was on the fence about this matchup because most of the games that I've been seeing are kind of one-sided, right? Like either the lings run in and you die as a Protoss, or you get Hydra busted with like a 973 and you just die as a Protoss, or you do these really aggressive Zealot plays and then the Zerg just dies. So I was like, yeah, but where's kind of the affinity of this matchup, But the more I kind of watch these games, the more I come to appreciate the PVZ matchup. There's a lot more intricacies going on than kind of meets the eye.
Yeah.
And Zaichi is doing a great job of blocking the natural here. We're seeing quite an early pool here.
That's normal. It's you get the Overlord and then the pool. It's like the safe build. Yeah.
And two Zerglings to chase away the probe there. Let's see on the Greedometer where the Protoss is at. The Protoss actually made a cannon, so we're not seeing massive levels of greed of skipping the cannon or whatever.
Yeah, this is a very like by the book Forge expand here, which is completely fine. For the last 2 seasons, like I really like to do Gateway first, but I kind of took a break, and now like Forge expand just seems so much easier. Like even if I think Gateway expand is probably better on paper, but it's way harder to pull up. So Forge expand is so easy. It's just like, do I get 1 cannon or 2 cannons? That's about it.
Yeah. So you can go about your day thinking about more important stuff, right? As a Protoss player. But I think the Gateway first builds are a lot more in favor, with the Korean top pro players.
They're becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, but that's because they have Korean pro player type of micro, macro, and understanding of the game, and we're here at CPL.
Yeah.
So, I'm seeing that Saihi's cannon is a bit in the back. So, this kind of, based on the information that Tube scouts here, I would kind of go for like an instant Hydra bust here, because the gateway and the forge aren't protected at all here, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of normal, honestly. Like, that placement is more to stop run-bys. Like, if the Lings try to run by the cannon and go to the ramp, that cannon can hit them on the ramp. And, like, I'm pretty sure that there's room for one more cannon between the gateway and the cannon. So, like, you can have another row there. So, like, it's not, like, that weak to Hydra bust.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would trigger me, as a.
I mean,
if I were to off race as Zerg.
Yeah. Like, you can still win with a Hydra bust even if they make cannons. Like, so it's not like it either way. It's not like it would counter you.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing a Stargate opening happening from Saihi here, and the Overlord is just going to scout it. Well, I actually hope that it scouts it. Let me see what the line of sight is from Tube, and Tube barely catches the edge of the Stargate there, and therefore knows what's happening. And of course, the Citadel of Adun is coming online just for some Templar tech, and of course Zealot legs, which is a staple of this PvZ matchup.
Yeah, it's like such a crucial upgrade if you're gonna do anything on the map ever.
Yeah, and I think compared to like all the other RTSs, Brood War has this really nice back and forth with upgrades, right? Like, Zealots are quite good, but Zealots with speed have like this added value to them, and every upgrade kind of adds something really unique to the unit.
Yeah, that was a big deal when Brood War came out. Like, if you look at like all of the reviews from when it came out, like they talk about how like the base units stay relevant in the whole game because of these upgrades. Like, whereas like a lot of older games, it's like you just go straight up to the giant battleships.
Yeah, it like, makes everything else obsolete. Yeah.
And this Corsair got here really early, like the compared to the Spire, and so now with Psyche's he's gonna get 2 kills here, and managed to get away from the Scourge, or almost, maybe not.
But Tube is kind of gathering a force, a Ling force here, trying to flank the Zealots from behind, looks like, and he's getting a really nice surround off on at least one of the Zealots here.
And this is actually a big deal to lose these Zealots, because you want these alive before your 730 push with the speed and the +1. It looks like the +1 is actually done now, but like just cutting down on that number of Zealots, like it just snowballs.
Oh, and VTech just kicked in, and the Zealots are running away home briefly. Oh, really nice catch here on the Corsair. Yeah. If those Scourges were to meet it.
Oh, well, okay. So one of the Corsairs did go down, but we were at 5 with a +1, which is really good for taking out Scourge. Like each volley from the Corsair will kill Scourge. These Zealots, though, they were on move command. It actually took a bunch of free damage from these Lings.
No.
So this like Zealot push from Saicha is not going to be all that strong. It's been delayed by about a minute, and some of the Zealots have died. So we're probably going to see Hydras pop like as soon as Zealots get here. And yes, that is what we are starting to see now. Hydras are going to spawn here. This attack itself isn't going to do too much direct damage, but like it's not like Artis has been kicked out of the game.
Yeah, nice hold position on the ramp here. The Zealots are glitching out because of the pathing, and that kind of does put a stop to that attack here. Or is the the reinforcements arrive and Zaihi's zealot forces being pestered away there.
Yeah.
But that just means if the hydras are at one place,
Oh, man.
the hydras are not in another place.
There's a huge cloud of overlords here.
Exactly, which leads these corsairs to be on the hunt, and that just puts Tube at 73 out of 62. He's supply blocked, and he's still trying to get some type of value.
He's trying his hardest.
Oh no!
But there's just too many hydras here. You don't want to throw away.
The hydras have returned. Yeah. That was a great play by just distracting them.
Oh, and does catch the move out. Oh, that means you can go back to the cloud. Oh, I don't care about anything else in this game. I just want to see all these overlords there.
Yes. Come on, you have to finish that one overlord.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
Oh, one
my God.
falls, two falls, three. Oh no. Tube is 80 out of 54. This is insane, but it doesn't matter.
A huge storm kills everything at the wall. Saija just rocketing ahead.
There was a money storm that just actually saved Psyche, basically, because while he was busy sniping overlords, he had to defend his main here, or natural rather. And oh no, those Templars are moving forward a bit too ambitiously. Really great storm though.
Not quite enough energy on these two Templar, but there's not that many Hydras left, and a wave of Zealots should be enough.
Yeah, and these are quite bruised as well.
Oh, it's so close right now.
The reinforcements arrive as well.
Oh, and we have some moons here. Just like every Protoss unit is just being thrown out of the gateway into this right now. Like,
yes.
Desperately trying to buy time for more cannons to get them.
Well, that was actually a great hold by Psyche because I really thought like the Hydra count was too critical.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Templars were just on the money with the storms, and the reinforcements of Zealots kind of helped Psyche to stabilize here. But now the second phase of this tower defense game happens. Yep. Tube is going into a lurker contain here, which is going to force Psyche to storm these units with really great storms, and immediately goes for an Archon because he needs some kind of value against these Hydras. Tube was going for a snipe, but he was just one shot away, and Psyche managed to get the storm off again on a really nice clumped Hydra army. And it looks like Psyche is holding on for dear life with just the tech of Storm, basically, which is really efficient. But I don't know for how long he's going to be able to hold on to this.
Yeah. These lurker contains are so hard to break out of. Like, it's only like 3 lurkers. It's just so hard. Their units are so dumb. Especially, like, I'm not sure if range is done on these goons. It should be. But it's one of those things that you can forget ahead of everything else. Like, and the rallies.
Ooh, a money storm. All of the Hydras die. That's 8 kills on that High Templar there. That's just insane.
Yeah.
Beautiful defense by Psyche, but
at the same time, trying to get this third base. Just a handful of Zealots here trying to defend it, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. We have the goons and Templar trying to show up. And, like, this is something about Fighting Spirit, like, because you have that, like, unique path to your third, you can kind of take your third even if you're being soft contained outside the bridge. And this is really working out.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, for the Protoss. Like, if the lurker contain, like, was in this whole arc here and took...
What? Mutas. The Mutas have arrived.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that in the tab here, but that's actually brutal. Like, killing that Templar. Probably you just killed the goons and shut down this base. Like, I can't believe we suddenly saw all these mutants. I was like, okay, finally Protoss, can breathe, can get their third base. Nope. We have Mutas. And we have like a handful of Corsairs left. We'll be surprised if we start to see more. It's probably going to be just like I don't think we're going to see more Mutas. It seems like we've stopped producing them, but like this is enough to be really annoying. Like killing those Templar, like you could probably trade all of the Mutas just to kill the Templar and then win with the Hydras.
Yeah, I think Tube is choosing to go for the economical damage here, which I do not blame him one bit. But unfortunately, he's been taking a lot of damage here from the +1 Corsair. Yeah, I think there's also a cannon finishing up below the Mutas. I don't think if the cannon is going to come up before the Mutas kill the cannon, but yeah, there's another cannon below that. But oh, there's a huge engagement coming onto the bridge. Psyche even mixed in a DT there. A really nice composition here, but the DPS of the Hydras are just too much. There's also a lurker from the back hitting the Dragoons, and the rally is just too much. I think Tube has just been on his micro, and with the High Templars being eliminated, there's very little to hold these Hydras. But we'll see. I think Tube's forces is being a bit scattered here. He's being a bit indecisive between going for the natural and Psyche with the money storms again.
Psyche's like just barely holding on to this game, like just barely staying alive. But it's kind of getting worse with each wave of Zerg. Although I mean the third base is up, so I guess it's not too bad. But just like there's no chance for us to get a death ball going. Like
they're constantly trading.
Yeah. That's more Overlords getting killed here by goons this time. We have way more lurkers coming in. Like we have more lurkers than the goons. Like that's really scary.
Yeah, that's looking like 8 total lurkers there. 7 being morphed right now. I think this is going to become more of a meat grinder for the Protoss here. And oh no, the probes are getting caught in the crossfire. It's a massacre. It's a massacre. Oh no. We can see the 13 kills, 4 on the other, 3 on the other, 5, 7, and 1 each on the back lurkers. And this is really brutal. I think not even money storms are gonna save Psyche here from this position. And the rally point is on top of the lurkers, so that doesn't really help the Dragoons. They're just walking straight into their death here. Hopefully these cannons will hold on to it, and hopefully Psyche will muster the time and energy to get out of storm. But the Forge on the front fails, and so does the High Templar.
And it's just struggling to get any kind of army up. Both players have actually done a lot of upgrades. It's just something that I noticed in the middle of all of this fighting. It's just when the numbers are this small, it doesn't really matter that much.
I get this feeling that this fight has been going on for the past 10 minutes, so I really don't know which side is going to win anymore. But we just got raided by Hazely Nut. Thanks for the raid. She's a lovely streamer, really nice educational stream. Be sure to give her a follow as well. Hope you had a nice stream. But let's get back to the cast. I think Psyche's feeling really bold here.
Yeah, I can't believe you moved out. You have like 3 Templar and 5 Zealots. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
It's really scary right now. But like, it seems like he's committed to trying to kill this a 4th base of Zerg. And like, I can't believe that Protoss is still in this game, but it is 18 minutes. There's only 1 mining base for Protoss. I don't see any sign of getting a 4th up Although now look at that. I guess this army here is just trying to hold this base here, trying to get this fourth up. And this one Hydra might get this probe.
Oh no!
Oh my god, get the Nexus!
Cue the Benny Hill theme right now.
He does. He gets it alive. Oh my god, huge storm of Hydras are trying to go up the ramp.
Ooh.
Another one, and another one. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Absolutely gigantic storms, but like this is what Psyche is gonna need to stay in this game at all. Let alone, like, win.
Psyche is really channeling his inner DJ Khaled there, and just dropping another one and another one. So that was really big, and that's basically those type of moves are lethal against Storm. Like those ramps are just exactly the right size for a Storm to be planted upon, right? So. And I don't think the Tube has really is feeling the pressure, because as Tube is trading, he's also expanding on the back of it.
Yeah,
and kind of keeping.
Bases.
Yeah, exactly, and he's kind of keeping Psyche honest here by constantly, switching to Miras, and then back to ground, and then, back to lurkers, and just keeping Psyche on his toes, right? But coincidentally, a good High Templar Storm kind of kills a clump of Mutas, right? So Psyche here has a singular answer for both threats. So I think Psyche is going to stabilize from this position onwards and kind of consolidate on the fourth here. And I don't see Tube doing any economical damage with the Mutas because there's simply no more economy to be had in the main and the natural of the Protoss. It's only the third and the fourth being mined here.
Yeah, it's basically like, it looks like a 4-base Protoss, but it's really a 2-base Protoss against a Zerg with 1, 2, 3, 4, and about to be 5 mining bases.
Oh wow, big storm on the Muta clump.
But like, the thing is, like, Tube can afford to take these trades. Like, killing Templar and losing all of these mutas is worth it in the long run, because the only way that Protoss can do anything is to get a big storms. Like, otherwise it's just math. Like, they can't win these fights.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing a bunch of Archons here, which would be good if we saw like a high-tech switch in the links, but we don't see that yet. So I'm really worried about these Archons. Like, obviously, if they kill the mutas, that's great. But then the Hydras will tune up.
Oh there we no, go. Mutas fly over them.
Well, there you go. Like I said, it'd be great if they kill all the mutas, but then these Hydras are like a really strong counter to
I think Archons. You put the Cold Warp Gates caster curse on Tube there.
Yeah. Just immediately snap and all the mutas die.
And we're seeing Psyche going uphill into a lurker.
Forget about
4
it.
Sets of lurkers.
Forget about it. Like,
exactly.
Like a max Protoss army could not kill that base. Just go somewhere else. Like, more Hydras.
And another money storm.
Are getting cleaned up here. Is there any mana on these? Yeah, there's enough for one more storm. And here we go. There's another juicy storm.
Beautiful. And the Archons just clean up the wounded Hydras there. But just as like the Terran pushes, as the Terran push happens, so does the Protoss push. Kinda runs out of fuel here. No more storms to be had, and the Archons are losing all of their shields here. And just as the High Templar dies, he managed to get one last storm off, and really nice cleanup. Really nice cleanup. But now we kind of need to. Psyche basically needs some time to get these high value units of High Templars going on, because in a situation like this where you kind of tend to go low econ, things with infinite replenishment, aka energy, tends to evaluate more, compound more value over time. So
mean, look at
it
the
looks like
mini-map right now.
Psyche's trying to
Like,
take
it's
the...
just streaming over. Yeah, we have a mini fighter. Oh, the Templar gets sniped before it can storm this time. It's kind of a meat grinder for the Zerg here with these Archons in the front. Actually, wow, I can't believe, like, Psyche just, like, dominated that fight with a splash damage there. Really nice. Might actually give him a chance to get this 5th base up.
Yeah, Protoss is at +3 attack, so those psionic shockwaves from the Archons really hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And it's basically a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing for the Zerg, right? Like, you move in to snipe the High Templars, you get pounded by the Archons. And if you try to snipe the Archons, you get stormed. So in both situations, the Protoss has an answer for
drop in the top
whatever
left.
the Zerg might throw at them.
The DT here, and there's no detection here in the top left base.
Oh,
yeah, see how many kills
nice.
GD gets, how long it is before Tube notices and pulls away. But it looks like there's going to be some kind of fight here in the middle, so it might be a while before his attention is directed here. We got 9 kills on this DT. Massive damage here.
Oh
12
no.
kills. Just don't hit a Hydra. Just keep hitting drones. It looks like Tube noticed, but only after extreme damage. Although we finally have the middle base being taken in Fighting Spirit. I can't remember the last time I saw a game with that. And there's only one base left on this map that has not been taken yet. So one thing we do have in the production tab, we have a transporting for Zerg, so we might see some kind of Doom drop with these cracklings that have come out, or even just Hydras. We're seeing a second Robo somewhere. Yeah, so we're seeing a second Robo from Psyche. He's going to start making Reavers, and like this is one of the things that you can do to try to stay alive in a game as Protoss, is just get a Robo in each base and make Reavers. And like it's very strong, and then like when you do get maxed out and you feel like moving out, you can like take a shuttle or 2 with you, but then that's a lot of a micro, and they're really fragile. So it's going to mean that Psyche's going to like play into the really long game if we start seeing Reavers.
Yeah, and basically the shuttle Reaver combo. Oh, another great storm going off in the middle, and another clump of Hydras just die. Psyche's just been on the money with these storms, and he's trying to take care of these lurkers as well. Really nice engagements from Psyche, really zoning the Zerg army away with those storms. But I was trying to.
Oh, that one storm was like right on the
Reavers.
on the Protoss army. You got it. I know you want to talk about Reavers, but this fight just keeps going. Just reinforcements showing up from both sides. We even have drones here, but I think Zerg is going to be able to hold on to this position.
If you guys are tuning in, this is the same fight that has been going on since minute 7, I think.
Yes, so. constantly a combat in this game. There's like no reason. There's no time to sit back.
Yeah. And I think what I was going to say about the Reaver shuttle thing, it basically becomes like a whack-a-mole thing, right? Like you kind of get the Reaver shuttle to efficiently clean out the exterior bases from Zerg, so you don't have to commit your whole army to it. That's basically the idea. That you can see it in Protoss Pro games as well, where you kind of clean up all the external bases. And it looks like Psyche is going to move to the bottom right here. But little does he know, there's also a lurker contain coming from behind. There's no escape here, but I think Psyche is completely fine just taking these expansions here. It's a contain if Psyche wants to move out of here, but I don't think Psyche really has some kind of urgency to get out of here because there's no other threat on the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the last untapped part of the map here, so why even bother going anywhere else? We do have Reavers here at this base, and Reavers are basically the best
Oh, the
anti-lurker
filer
meter.
just crawled up to the combat there. Um,
Yeah,
it's going to be
Dark Swarm
interesting. I think.
is so obnoxious. Like goons, you might as well just never make a single goon again.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a dark swarm here.
Alright.
He's trying to
Reavers
consume
do
the
work.
lings.
And Storm does work.
Oh
Dark Swarm
no!
really nice, but I've got
And
a
the
huge
splash
play.
damage
Yeah.
of the Archons as well.
Alright, so it's like he really needs to hold on here. This is the future of the Protoss race, but there's this group of units at the bottom right that has been forgotten. And we just have these like 2 Reavers which have been playing down to 1 HP or 2 HP, and they like, we need these in the game. These lurkers stacked up, but they get the Reaver. Oh no, I think this mining base is gonna go down here. And that's gonna mean, of course, that the bottom right corner is doomed, and then it'll be just these 2 very exhausted bases left.
Really nice.
Oh there are 30 Hydralisks in production right now.
Oh no.
The Zerg economy is like fully online. Like there's just storms everywhere. This is such huge value for Protoss. It's not enough.
I think this finally breaks the camel's back. The fight that started at 7 minutes is coming to an end at probably 30 minutes here. One last valiant effort to cannon up here, but also the Reaver is, desperately trying to get a Scarab hit out, but he's getting sniped. No miss chance. Oh, he just gets one single shot off, and the Protoss barely defends here. But as you said, there's a rally of 30 Hydras coming along here. And I think that kind of puts the nail in the coffin here. And there's the GG from Psyche.
What a game.
Well played by both parties.
It just does not stop.
What a slugfest, but really well played by both parties.
Yeah, like, there were so many times when I thought Psyche was gonna die, and they just kept holding on.
Yeah. The storms were just so on the money, and there were times where Psyche held on with like 4 Zealots, 2 Dragoons, and 2 High Templars.
Yeah, those storms, like every storm, did so much damage.
Yeah, like any other Protoss would have just died there, but Psyche held on valiantly, and it went to a really nice macro game. We went all the way into Defilers even.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice series.
The game's up.
Huh.
Yeah, that was game 1. That wasn't the whole series. that
was a really nice start of this series, I guess.
All right. Let's get it started. Alright, so if Tube wins this game or the next one, they'll completely close out this whole tier for the Fear Factory. But we'll have to see if that actually happens. Here in the top left, we have a brown Zerg, 442, and in the bottom right, the Survivor Protoss, Psyche.
Yeah, and as we talked about this map, it's going to be a really interesting game because I don't know how the map is going to dictate this matchup, but the third is going to be, or the fourth even, is going to be really removed from the main and the natural. So I guess the Zerg is a bit more mobile in that sense, or can set up lurkers and sunkens. But I'm really curious as how Psyche is going to approach this problem. Also because there are a lot of chokes on this map. So maybe we'll see some two base stuff from Psyche.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think this map is actually like favored for Protoss, at least in like in the pro stats,
mhm.
because of the base problem. Like in this matchup, Protoss is totally fine like doing some big 2 base push, whereas like Zerg has to protect these like really far flung third or even fourth bases. Like
Yeah.
and then when Protoss does expand, like they can take the like gas bases on the sides of the map that have the really narrow chokes, and just put like cannons and a Templar there, and like Zerg can never break it. So this map, I think, it is pretty good for Protoss in this matchup. Certainly, like doesn't like it's not like unwinnable for Zerg by any chance.
Oh, nice
Yeah, I like
blocking here
yeah
coming from Psyche.
yeah even with 2 drones here, like just doing a really good job. See, the probe does get taken out.
Oh,
Kind of gets
wow.
glitched there as the 2 drones stack. So actually, there won't be much scouting being done anymore. So Psyche is going to be left in the dark. This is like a really
Yeah.
important phase of the game, and there we go. They are sending out a second probe here. You just have to get that information, because Zerg could make only lings, or they can make only drones. They can start a Hydra Den, or who knows.
Yeah, it's good to get that second confirmation going on, because, as you said, Psyche is in the dark otherwise. And we're not seeing that much, some crazy stuff from 440 YouTube, but he does take the mineral expansion there, um, which is really nice to defend, just to rally up on that hill there. And yeah, Psyche gets the full confirm here, gets his probe in, and yeah, gets a really nice scouting off.
There we go. You just have to see what Zerg is doing. Might be able to
And
tell from the gas timing and stuff.
Yeah, from this point onward, what would you kind of gravitate towards if you were the Protoss?
I would be suspicious as to why there's no lair, but like it doesn't. Oh yeah, and there we go. So we do have a Hydra Den. So I would be suspicious of Hydra. Like there's some builds that just delay your lair, but as we can see here, obviously, like if you don't have a lair by like 330, I think, then you start to be cautious about that.
So this is a bit sus what 442 is doing. And yeah, he's getting the Hydra up.
I think maybe this might have been a Nexus first from Psyche. Like I'm not sure, because like getting the core here at the natural is usually because like you can skip a pylon when you get Nexus first. So maybe that's what this was. Which might explain also the 3-hatch Hydra. I was looking at Zerg more closely than I was looking at Protoss. But so the thing about 3-hatch Hydra is like you absolutely have to get some kind of scout in their base to figure out what their follow-up is going to be. We actually don't see the Stargate yet. It looks like maybe it's about to go down. No, so we're going straight to Citadel. So maybe we might see Psyche like blind counter these Hydras if he just gets like 2 more gateways and makes a bunch of zealots. But that's pretty rough. Like you really want that Stargate so you can tell like if you're making drones, if you're making Hydras. That tells you how many cannons to make. So this is gonna be hard for Psyche. Like again, like it kind of be just in the dark here. Oh my god, we got another raid. Thank you, Nightcat. He's another one of the casters for CPL. So definitely check out his streams. I think he's streaming tomorrow, maybe Saturday. I'm not sure on the schedule right now. But okay, so we have seen the Hydras. So Psyche knows there are going to be Hydras. Unfortunately, we only have 1 cannon right now. So we desperately have to get up to at least 4. And we don't have very much to stall for us while we do that.
Oh, the range is really hitting here.
Yeah.
And it looks like the gateway is going to be targeted here. And on the back there are 3 more cannons warping in. I think Psyche diagnosed that it's going to be like a Hydra bust of some sort, 3-hatch Hydra all in, and he's trying to desperately react uh, accordingly.
Even pulling some probes here, trying to just buy time for these cannons to get up.
Yeah, 442 doesn't care. He's going for the cannons, one by one, and
so fast.
Oh, he's retreating now because the other cannons are warping in now.
Yeah, but this is really scary for Psyche. Like, there's more Hydras coming. There's only 2 cannons that are finished. We finally have a third one, but it's kind of by itself, so it could get picked off. Like, I feel like if 2 pulled the trigger, they could break the front here. Yeah, and here they go, trying to focus down these cannons really fast here. They at least getting one, and they're trying to run away from these speed cells. The probes are
really nice micro.
Yeah, doing a great job kiting here. Forge is about to go down. This one cannon is here. The probes are being pulled, so you don't even need to break the cannons. You just kill the probes. And we can see at home, like, Tube is like just leaning into this, making more Hydras and more hatcheries to make even more Hydras. Like, this is a faucet is not going to be turned off anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's just Hydras are going to come in.
It looks like we're going to be casting the last game as well.
Yeah, the fight that just never ends.
The fight that never ends. We're seeing constant rallies of Hydras here, and the cannons being remade, zealots being remade just to hold on for dear life here. And we can see that the Hydras are trickling in as well. And it looks like 442 is trying to trickle in some drones with it as well, because he kind of is getting the sense that this is not really an endeavor worth pursuing anymore because of the valiant defense of the Protoss.
They're starting to get drones, starting to get hatcheries. The thing is, like, it's completely fine for Zerg to try to transition into money right now, because, like, the Protoss has lost so many probes, it's down to 19 probes. Like, they keep having to put money in cannons. Like, the Protoss game plan is just, like, ruined at this point. Like, their tech is late, their income is going to be way too low, like, their upgrades are going to be late. Like, Zerg can absolutely just sit at home and make drones for a long time.
Yeah, exactly, and we can see on the production tab, the layer has been started, and we're just seeing just 5-hatch Hydra rally here from 442. He's at 45 supply. I don't know if the aggression is gonna keep on going, or if 442 has some backup plan to transition into. From the Protoss side, we're seeing very little units and very little tech. It looks like Psyche is going for the comfy comfort zone, reliable storms from the Templar archives. But it's gonna take a while before that comes online, so I'm curious as to how this is going to pan out. It looks like 442 is going for the lurkers again, but it looks like he's going to try to contain this area, which is like a really good move, because it's going to be denying Psyche from his potential third.
Yeah, just look at how big the arc is that a lurker contain can get on this map. Like, that is disgusting. Like, you just can't let them get it. But in this game, I don't know if Psyche can stop this lurker contain from going down. Like, we need to see the Robo start, like, now, if Psyche wants any chance of breaking out of this contain before Zuri's taking the entire map.
Yeah, and 442 is slowly doing exactly that. He put up 2 more hatcheries, and he's producing overlords and drones from each and every one of them.
Yeah, this is basically Zerg has gotten their dream here. They just get to play with whatever they want.
Yeah, this is the infinite money cheat.
Exactly. And the lurkers are starting to morph. The Robo is not in existence. Psyche, I'm sure that they are aware of the potential of lurkers, but like you kind of have to cut corners somewhere and just kind of hope that they don't go for him, because like like you can't possibly defend against everything that Zerg can do when you're behind. But here we go. As soon as the Zealots feel like moving out, the lurkers all just burrow. A nice storm.
A really nice storm there.
Get the lurker and a couple hydras, but you really need to be able to actually finish off the lurkers to make these storms worth it. Like the math is that it takes one goon shot and one storm to kill a lurker, so like you can like storm some lurkers and have one goon just like shift clicked on all the lurkers, but like you do have to like do that finishing blow, or the lurkers will just keep killing all of your zealots.
Yeah, and they slowly regenerate health, so that's also like an issue. The thing with these lurker hydra contains is that the moment you try to get detection with your observer, they just move in with their hydras and actually snipe your observer, so you're again left in the dark. So you kind of have to zone in and out with your observer, or just storm right on the hydras or the lurkers, but just by guesstimating where exactly the spines are coming from. But it looks like 442 is not stopping anytime soon, and just warped 7 more lurkers here.
Yeah, there's 52 drones on 4 bases. They just fun like infinity lurkers right now. And the hive is coming. We're gonna see those defilers, and like that is literally unstoppable. Like a lurker contained with Dark Swarm, like I don't like I would just leave the game. Like, right? Like even if I still have like a maxed out army in my base, if I see lurkers under Dark Swarm outside my natural, I'm just gonna leave. Slowly chipping away with these storms.
Yeah, great storm there, but I think it's very little and very late in this scenario. But we can see that Psyche has 5 High Templars in total. So in a sense, he's just trading off energy for lurkers. But 442 is really not stopping, and he's just morphing 7 more.
Oh my god, so you literally don't have enough storms to kill all of these lurkers. Goons are trying to come out here and poke at these lurkers if they do get one. Oh, and a storm after these Titans baited in. Like these are good trades for Psyche, but it's just not enough. Seems like dude might be trying to pull the trigger here. Oh my god, storm all over the lurkers. Actually a big mistake here for Tube.
Oh no.
Really nice play from Psyche, but does he have enough to like break out here? I'm not sure. Like as we have these lings and hydras come in, these goons are gonna get chewed up here.
Well, actually, the Zerg army is going to get chewed up here. This is looking like another of those 30-minute slugfest. Like it looks like Protoss is even breaking out of the contain here. What the hell is happening here?
Wow, that was actually really good. Like I'm gonna study this replay to figure out how to get out of lurking contains. The thing is now, like, so Protoss wants to get their third base by at latest 12 minutes. And it is almost 15 minutes, and we don't even have third base started, and we have Link trying to run our admiral. Like,
oh no,
so,
all those overlords are getting target.
Oh my god,
targeted.
A big storm on all of these Links. All these overlords are here, but they of course have speed by now. But like, okay, here we go. So we do finally have the third base for Protoss started, but like their 4th base should be coming up soon. And
you're talking about the 4 base timing.
Yeah, and like
the 4th base timing of Protoss.
It is so hard to defend all that area when your army has been whittled down by this contain, by all of this fighting.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible for Psyche, but it is really daunting. Like it's gonna be really hard, and basically like he can't be aggressive for a long time. He just has to defend like 3 or 4 spots on the map.
Just look at the 4 o'clock position. 442 is going for a cheeky pocket expand that's actually Psyche's expand. But the way it is positioned.
You see both of the side bases.
Yeah. And this is basically the whack-a-mole principle, where the Protoss can deny one of those bases, but you're gonna be guaranteed that the other one is gonna get up. It looks like we're going to have a fight here. The Protoss is moving in against a couple of lurkers and a couple of hydras, but it looks like the Protoss has the upper hand here in terms of numbers. But all the meat shield is being stripped away here. There's no more zealots to tank for the dragoons, and the dragoons are being chased away from that position. It looked so breakable on first sight, but Psyche is being chased away all the way to his third here. And let's see how the macro rounds are looking, because
Oh my god, there's so
442 is just putting on an aggressive rally here. And now Psyche is separated from his Netro and his third. Like 442 just parked it right in between the two forces, but it looks like that's looks like Psyche is gonna come out on top here, because he's getting an unintended flank going on from his Netro and his third. And well, the rallies are too little, too late. It seems like.
Well, we do have one in the third base. It's probably gonna shut that down.
Oh no, the waves are just too big. Yeah.
Psyche taps out, and that means that Fear Factory takes all 4 series tonight. By tonight, I mean like 4 weeks ago or whenever this actually happened.
Yeah.
So well played to you guys on that one. And that is going to be the end of our games for today. That was a marathon, and like I thought we might have to leave like halfway through because of because of the
technical issues.
Exactly. So I'm gonna find someone to raid. Thanks for sticking through it with me.
Yeah, no problem. It was really fun casting with you.
Yeah, these were some really good games. Thanks for like the 3 or 4 people who rated me. I've like never had that happen. Especially like Terror. That was really cool. I had some new people in the chat, had some new follows. That was fun. So if you guys like these CPL casts, I usually do them on Thursdays. Sometimes I'm in the official streams on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then there's plenty of other people. It's basically like every day of the week somebody is casting CPL. So tune in to one of those channels or tune into the official channel. And with that, I'm going to find somebody to raid. Try to pay this forward. See who's playing StarCraft right now. Let's see. I guess we'll do Gypsy. Because Artosis doesn't need it. He's got 2,500 people.
Yes, let's go raid Gypsy.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.